uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television here live on a happy hump day edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And let's start it out like we always do here on this show. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scott and now media member of Night Sports Productions, and of course, Amped Up Sports, possibly best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, talking about what else? The Tampa Bay Rays, the quarterback competition, and then at 10:20, we will have the return of Turnbuckle Talk. Of course, WWE, AEW, lots of things breaking tonight, lots of things that you already knew if you watched this show. And then, of course, as always, your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 in case you can't get in on that line. 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, tune in, text in, and call in. I tell you right now, I missed you guys on Monday night, but I kind of felt like watching this Rays victory today because they finally get a victory after Monday not scoring anything, only scoring one run on Tuesday. And you would think to Rays fans that this team was 18-40. But congratulations to the Tampa Bay Rays, because this is the ebbs and flows of the Major League Baseball season. Of course, I got to do that because Harry hates the Cubs, and of course, Roger is a big-time Cubs fan. But of course, Brandon Lau takes care of business in the top of the seventh. We talked to Roberto Hernandez about a week back, and the reason when I asked him, what's the reason why the Rays keep Brandon Lau in the lineup? That's the reason right there. 431 feet, because even though he's hitting over just 200 at this point, he could just change it with one swing. And predominantly for that game, the majority of it, the 6 innings were awful. Credit to where credit is due. The Cubs played their asses off in this series. And then Jose Siri, who has been another story of this team. By the way, 7 players with at least, 11 players on this team with 7 home runs. They lead Major League Baseball with home runs and stolen bases. They're still getting it done. So Rays fans, just calm down a little bit. That's going to be the thing. That's going to be the motto for the Sports Web tonight. I always say, bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. And I feel like everybody's just bringing all this excitement and all this other stuff, but the season's not over with the Rays, okay? They're going to go through some slumps. It's going to happen. It's like the legend says, Leo Haggerty, they get paid too. So hats off to the Cubs for taking 2 games, but not today. Going back to it, Jose Siri with the home run. His 10th of the year, had 7 last year. The Rays survive. Once again, this bullpen presentation brought to you by Tums. Jalen Beeks in a high leverage situation, big time strikeout, 1 out, bases loaded, gets the strikeout, and then gets the fly out to Randy Arozarena. And the Rays get out of there and then get their 40th win of the season. So hats off to the Rays. And then there's 99 days until the NFL season starts. And you would think that the quarterback competition is already over with. I mean, go on social media and see some of the highlights of Baker Mayfield misfiring, Kyle Trask misfiring, and then you got the people out there going, I told you, the quarterbacks stink. Relax. 99 days into the NFL season starts. 99 problems, but a sports talk show isn't one. Get on the phone lines. Let's talk about it tonight. Quarterback competition, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's early in the process. It's May 31st. You've got 99 days left to complain about it, talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. I swear, going on social media, you would already think the quarterback competition is over with. Like, this is the worst team in the National Football League by far. I mean, just do, and I hate to say this because Harry's going to love when I say it, relax like Aaron Rodgers. With that being said, I'm going to hold off on the phone calls for right now, Roger. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy on. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You are the stir of the soup. I will give you credit before
the chef of the poo-poo soup.
Well, we will give you that, but I will give you the credit for this. And we talk about NBA basketball sometimes on this show. You had it right, my friend. Game 7, Miami and the points. And if you saw that pick, then you cashed in. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad, Pete. Have been a little under the weather lately, just people getting on my nerves a little bit. I'm sure you know how that goes.
Well, why are people getting on your nerves for?
I have no idea. Maybe you might know, but who knows? No, but seriously, going back to the NBA game, especially talking about the Miami Heat, I mean, there's a reason why no one's ever come back from 3-0. I mean, give me a break. Jimmy Buckets, and I love to call him Buckets, might be the MVP. Everybody say hello to Bandit. Hi, Bandit. How are you?
Hi, Bandit. What's going on, Bandit?
This is for the Chicago Cubs out there. There you go.
Oh, jeez. Well, I tell you right now, and I give credit to where credit is due. The first two games of the series.
Go away, Bandit.
Their pitching was phenomenal. They got just enough hitting. And you
put
it out. You put it out there on Facebook today, and we got Leo hopefully coming in here. I don't know where he's at, but he's supposed to be joining us in just a little bit. You put it out there, but you know all too well that this team is going to go through their ebbs and flows. Again, finish your.
Did I not? Was I not the one that told everybody,
right?
Get off your horse and just relax. You're
relax.
going to have the ups and the downs. I was just trying to make everybody think like the whole world was down. Hell, my neighbor across the street turns around. He says, I didn't, but your White Sox, how'd they do? Who cares?
Well,
I was talking.
We do on this.
I just love when everybody thinks that I'm just poo-pooing on all the Tampa teams, and that's just not the case. Read what I write.
Right. Okay.
I was trying to be encouraging. It's that thing. It's made out of wood and it's round. It's called a baseball bat. You need to start using it. That's all I was saying.
Well,
but I love my neighbors.
I know you do, and hopefully he gets to come on here, Mr. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. He's a big-time Rays fan. With that being said, give me your overall thoughts of this team, because I saw this and I could not believe
best team in baseball, Pete.
Well, not only the best team in baseball, but check this out. They lead the league in home runs and stolen bases. Do you know the last team to do that?
Don't care.
You should. The 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Why is that significant?
I wasn't born, and I don't think you should give a shit.
I do give a shit, because we do
what?
Give a shit on this show.
Hang on, hold on. Time out.
It's
15 after 9.
You forced me to curse a little bit, so you know what? I'll go ahead and curse a little bit. You should give a shit about that.
What? That's twice.
Teams of all time, the Brooklyn Dodgers, 1955, Boys of Summer, Jackie Robinson led Brooklyn Dodgers. So absolutely care.
No, actually, I do care about history. Look, The team is playing great. They're the best team in the National League. I'm sorry, in all of baseball in the major leagues. But don't count your chickens before they're hatched, ladies and gentlemen. You have to let this team develop. They're going to have a lot of ups and they're going to have a lot of downs. Okay, I just wish they weren't playing this good of baseball so early in the season. Because I can tell you a lot of teams that have done this, not quite to this extent, and all of a sudden they just fall apart. I mean, I might add, I believe there was a St. Louis Cardinal team that only had 84 wins to win a division that went on to win a World Series. So it depends on when you get hot.
Correct.
Okay. So for all you people that out there think that I'm hating, all I'm doing is I'm stipulating facts. Stop hearing what you want to believe you're hearing. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say, Alex. I mean, it's just that's all.
We love Alex there, and we love him.
But I don't do it for me. I do it for everybody. You know
absolutely.
that.
There you go. Exactly. The phone lines are open if you want to talk about.
Yeah. If you have a question or comment for the Peter the Greek, go ahead and post it. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. You want some picks? We might even give a few of them out today. Pete, it's so good to be back on with you. I'm not looking like my typical normal self, all bubbly and everything else. But
you look great. You look. How old are you now? How old are you?
41.
41. There you go. 41 and holding right there. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. And going back to it, you had it pegged right. You took the Miami Heat in Game 7.
But they were getting 7.5 points. What the hell were these people watching?
How much did you win on that bet alone?
I can't disclose that.
Oh, come on. Come on. Just brag a little bit, damn it. What, I got to curse the whole segment here to get
people out there that know anything about it? 2 dimes.
2 dimes. All right. Well, there you go. See, there you go. And that's the reason why you watch this. Of course, we do a show on 1252 Chicago Sports called The Over Under that has not gone away. Just, a little high hiatus here. We'll give out some picks in just a little bit. Let's go out to the texting line. First says Troy Polamalu. I guess that's first.
Troy, the only thing that you were first about is when you came out.
Oh, there you go.
Back about 40 years ago.
Roger Sue says, I'm always first.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Coach Prime. Read the comments, bro. Stop skipping the comments, bro. Stop doing shows, bro. Stop not doing shows. Okay, well, it was Memorial Day, so I was giving everybody a little break, including myself. But I tell you what, bro, how about you pay me, bro? If you want me to read your comments, get to YouTube chats, bro. If you like the Facebook content, bro, go ahead and give to the Facebook
I got an announcement to make.
Yes, what's the announcement?
Roger, I'm just letting you know, all that money you've been sending to there and it says dedicated to the Greek.
Yes.
I haven't seen a penny of it. Just to let you know.
That is going to the Peter Blake Fund. A Peter is a terrible thing to waste. Now that's
just like your mind. The mind's a terrible thing to waste.
Well, there you go. Exactly. My mind has been wasted right now with reading some of these comments from these jackals. Let's make this quick. Dynamite is on. I make this quick. How about that? Let's go out to Coach Prime. Roger is scared to eat squirrel.
Dynamite is on? Really?
Yeah, Dynamite. It's wrestling. It's AEW. There was breaking news tonight also.
Tell me, please. Just do share, because you know how much I just love wrestling.
Dusty Rhodes came back from the dead, and he decided to wrestle Dick the Bruiser. Did you know that?
What?
And Rick Hughes was the referee, and he was saying how excited he was, and if you swing the bat.
With the angry producer.
Exactly. See, you knew exactly what I was going with. See, you watch wrestling just like I do. No, that's not it. You're going to have to wait for Turnbuckle Talk at 10:20.
Oh, I won't be around, buddy.
Well, you know what?
The Mancini brothers don't want me on.
You know what? I'm tired of you degrading Turnbuckle Talk. Those guys were
I don't degrade it. I just want to talk something that I'm interested in, like football.
You're not interested in it?
And baseball.
Well, we're going to continue to talk about the Rays and, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't make money talking turnbuckle stuff.
Shut up. Roger, call back in if you want to call in. Open phone lines. Now you can call in 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391.
The only turnbuckle talk I want to talk about is the Mazzola Rolla Party. Are you familiar with that?
I am not. What is that?
Google it, sir.
Why do I have to Google stuff from you? Seriously? I mean, here's what I think about
this guy sucks.
I know people out there know what a Mazzola Rolla Party is. Anybody remember playing the game Twister? Okay. All right. So what you do is
Hold on. You're going to have to hold on here because the tribal troll is coming on here. Let me acknowledge
me.
Roger Shu, you're leading it off here on the Sports Web. Welcome back, my friend, on a Wednesday night with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. And he hangs up. He calls in and he hangs up.
Okay, so let me finish what the Mazzola Rolla Party is. It's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's
it's like, all right, go ahead and bring him back on.
Go ahead, Roger. What do you want?
Why'd you hang up on me?
I didn't hang up on you. You hung up on yourself. Go ahead.
Jeez. My fellow Greek guy, how are you, sir?
How about this? You're full of shit. Now go ahead. Go.
Peter, I'm calling your mother to wash your mouth out with soap.
Mom's watching the show, and she approves of it at this point. So go ahead, Roger. Enough of you. Wow, she just hung up again. He just hung up again. There you go. That's what you got to do.
Well, that's what happens when y'all live in no place really up there.
There you go. Exactly. Well, it is probably Verizon or whatever phone service he has.
So do you want me to tell you about the Mazzola roller party?
Well, let me finish my thought. You got to stop purchasing phones at 7-Eleven and other places, Roger Shue. Call back if you want to. Now tell me about what the hell this Mazzola rolla is. I thought you were talking about the coach for the Boston Celtics getting fired or getting rolled out. Go ahead.
Okay, well, what it is, it's kind of a party you have with a whole bunch of people, and it's you have this big, huge plastic tarp. It's got to be like 3 or 4 times the size,
like a Wet and Wild.
Right? Yeah, almost kind of Wet and Wild. See,
Yes.
what you do is you take this Mazzola corn oil or Crisco, and you just pour it all over the place. You get undressed, and then you just start sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
that, my friend, is a Mazzola rolla party. If you haven't tried it, you got to do it.
Yeah, sounds awful.
Shut up!
I think I'll go up past.
You know what? I want to take a poll. Everybody that's out there that's watching this show tonight, thumbs up or give me a thumbs down to the Mazzola roller party. Because let me tell you something. If you never tried it, you haven't lived yet.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Roger is scared to eat squirrel brains. I mean, that comment right there is awful.
This guy sucks.
Bucs suck. Let's go Saints. Carr and Gruden back together. You know what? We can switch gears a little bit to football because I know predominantly we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this show. But that was the report this week. John Gruden working with Dennis Allen, his former defensive coordinator. I mean, what do you make of that? John Gruden, some type of advantage for the Saints? Roger. Okay, this is the third time, my friend. If you don't get it right this time, you're not calling back. You're going to get banned. Go ahead. Welcome.
The Mazzola rolla, baby.
See,
and this is the reason why. You got a guy like this that agrees with you, his Greek guy right here, your little cultist who's calling in the evolution of sports talk television.
But it's true. Roger, tell him and please explain to him how fun a Mazzola roller party is.
Oh, God.
It's the best ever.
It is.
All right.
It's almost more fun than Naked Twister.
It doesn't sound
That's exactly what it is.
Well,
I was just trying to be a little bit more diplomatic about it.
Well, you have to make things simple for Peter.
Okay, well, the simple thing is your Cubs lost today, so how about that, huh? How's that for you? You like that?
Yeah, I think both of you should sing Go Cubs Go in honor of me.
I'm not singing. I'm not singing.
I can't hear him anymore.
I don't either.
Something happened.
On him? He was singing Go Cubs Go, some nonsense like that. Lose Cubs lose. That's what it should be this song today after they lost to the Rays. What do you want?
And Harry, for the record, you can bet on professional wrestling.
Why did you have to tell me that? I'm already a sick individual.
Well, I mean, I think
because Harry, it's a very, very lucrative deal, and I'm the handicapper of professional wrestling. I can help you win.
See, if you would have listened, you would listen to Turnbuckle talk instead of making fun of the Mancini brothers.
No.
Hold on. I don't make fun of the Mancini brothers.
You're a jabroni.
This guy sucks.
And what do you want? What did you say?
You know what? Ralph Williams is going to kick your ass if you call him a jabroni.
I know he is.
Okay.
I know he is. He really is.
Woo! I'll tell you what. You got his dander up, bro. I'm telling you, when you called him a jabroni, he was like, hey, what?
What?
I thought the poor guy was going to come through his cam.
It's all love here. It's all love here on the sports web with Roger, of course.
So yes, Harry, if you need help making your bets,
it almost looked like this. Yeah. He went, what?
Well, that's a great shot there. And we're missing Leo Haggerty, and I don't know where Leo's at, but that's your usual Leo shot there. So I guess you're taking over for that Leo shot.
So, hey, I got a question from my Greek guy out there. What do you think of the not quarterback controversy, but what do you think about the lack of enthusiasm that the fans are showing in the Tampa Bay area over Kyle Trask and one Baker Mayfield? I mean, could anybody miss any more open throws?
See, the media and the fans need to listen to the Greek, because in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Trask, amen.
Amen.
Well, and I tell you right now, going back to it, a lot of people were up in arms about it because Kyle Berger, who is a sports broadcaster for Channel 28, his video went viral because there was a couple throws there that weren't very good by Baker and, of course, by Kyle Trask. And everybody's getting up in arms. Oh, my God.
It's OTAs.
It's OTAs. I mean, everybody relax just a little bit here. And I was watching.
I just, during OTAs, I'm just talking to my boys going, hey, man, what bar are we hitting tonight and what gentleman's club are we going to? Are you crazy?
Okay, I'm hoping they're not talking like that at all, and hopefully both quarterbacks are in shape.
Why? There's been a couple of Bucs players that have had a really good time doing that. I come to remember one particular tight end.
What was his name?
I'm trying to remember. I think you remember it.
Which one?
God, he was a first or second round draft pick. I don't know.
it-
Someone else was calling in. Bye.
All right, Roger. What else?
Let's real quickly, Harry. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage, but thoughts on Justin Fields to DJ Moore? That's looking really good.
It looks great. There's a lot of air up underneath the ball, but when you don't have somebody covering somebody, that all is for nothing. Look, man, I'm going to get excited for this coming year in football.
Are you excited?
They're extremely changed as an organization, especially on offense.
Buying NFL Sunday tickets so I can actually watch them this year.
Well, my question is, guys, because you guys
you asked me one question, I'm going to go ahead and finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket yet. But I didn't like when I heard Cole Kmet go on The Score, which is a radio station in Chicago, and he said, quote unquote, you ready? We're going to try to develop a bond between Justin Fields and Cole Kmet like Brady and Gronk. What?
Yeah. That's the comparison you should be going after. Now, not saying that Kmet is going to be the next Gronk or saying
Kmet was a top 5 tight end last year. People don't realize that.
All right. Well, then you develop that chemistry, and that's a good thing to shoot for. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Roger, we got to run here. Well, actually, Fat Mike is calling in from 12:52.
Bring my boy Fat Mike in.
Go ahead and call
you guys
in.
Have a great show.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Roger, as always. I hate to rush him out of there, but I know he's your Greek guy at the end of the day. I don't know who you're talking to at that point. So
it's all about family, baby. Right, Mike?
Family. We'll get Mike on here.
Where's Mike? Is he on?
He's not on yet. He'll have to call back.
No, you just
open phone line 727-555.
Call
0391 and the other number 727-409-7528 as we are off and running here on a Wednesday night. Yes. What?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Fat Mike, if you're listening in, buddy, please save my ass. Call in, please, because you know what it's all about. It's all about family.
It is all about family. Let's see here. Roger Shue says, go Saints. Roger again. Got to change up the intro music. It's old and boring, just like you, buddy. Just like you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Good to see Harry. We thought you went missing because you didn't pay your taxes to the Italians. What do you have to say to Coach Prime?
This guy sucks.
I got something for him. It's
no. Don't do that now. Let's go out to Fat Mike from 1252 Chicago Sports. Welcome back, my friend. You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with, of course, Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. What do you have to say, my friend? It's all about family.
So happy to be back on your show, Peter. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yes, sir.
I really do appreciate it. I tell you what, you're more consistent than herpes. Let me tell you.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's probably a drop. Thank you. Wow.
Mike, what's up, my little brother? How you doing, man? Have you tipped Mike? You know what it's all about, brother, right?
It's all about the
family.
family.
Baby.
It's all about family. Have you gone out and seen the 100th episode of this yet? I did.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did. I went out.
Serious?
Yeah, I went out. Oh yeah, baby. It's all about family.
They got Paul Walker on puppet strings.
No, it ain't no Paul Walker, bro.
Paul Walker. I mean, that's what he says. I can't give it away.
Come on, Mike. I got your music kicking, baby. Come on.
Oh yeah, baby.
Okay, I'm done with.
With a 2-foot brick.
2-foot brick.
All right, I'm done with this music. I'm done with you guys at this point. All right. What do you have?
It's all about the family.
Yes, it's all about the family here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We're just talking about
this show has completely got off the rails today.
Not really. I mean, I think we had some type of organization when we came in, and then all of a sudden, we read the comments, and then
you brought me in.
Right, we brought you in, and got Roger, and yeah. and then Mike comes on, and that's it.
So I have a question for Fat Mike. Mike,
Yes, sir.
Peter didn't know what a Mazzola roller party was.
What?
Yeah, swear to God, he didn't know what a Mazzola roller party was. Tell him he hasn't lived until he's tried it. It's an. Oh God.
About that.
Pete, no. You can't cue the farts on that.
Why?
No.
Afterwards.
Okay, so what is this party again? Go ahead and do slip and slide, and what else?
It's not a slip and slide. It's a huge twister game with a whole bunch of people that get naked, and you squirt Mazzola corn oil all over the place. And you try to grab each other, and then you wrestle. It's kind of fun.
It sounds really, really inappropriate for this show.
It's like a big naked fun dip. That's all it is.
Mike, I want to get you naked and put you full of Mazzola corn oil.
God.
I'm in.
Okay, now it is officially gone off.
And wait a minute. And then the Mancini brothers can try to come tackle you.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
All right. Enough with that. You know what social media does to a lot of people. It makes them crazy, Fat Mike. A lot of people were up in arms this week about some of the highlights with Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield missing throws. You're in Chicago. What's the sense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their quarterback competition?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Above all, you guys know me down there in the Tampa Bay scene as not just a Bear fan, but also as a football fan in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not just a Bear fan. I follow football as a whole in itself, right? Kyle Trask is your guy.
That's right, baby.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I think Baker Mayfield is the guy, but I will read these comments from Todd Bowles because he was saying this in his presser today. He's getting the reps. When you get more reps, you get more confidence, obviously, and rightfully so. With Tom there last year and Blaine there, he didn't get the reps he should get. He's getting a lot of reps right now. It's really an indoctrination, Leo word, of his rookie year, getting all the reps he's getting. As he gets those reps, he's getting more confidence, so he's happy to be playing. And then what we've heard from Trask is not only as he lost weight, he looks better, even though the video shows that he's missing throws along with Baker.
Hey, hold on. But they're also saying that Kyle Trask looks a lot more elusive in the pocket. How about that one?
Well, I mean, that's when you lose that much weight because he was 240 coming out.
What it boils down to is this, guys. What it boils down to is this. Baker's been in the league for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now he's finally starting to hit a receiver. I mean, come on, let's get real here. He's finally starting to hit a receiver after
a healthy receiver, Peter. I know where you're going through there. He's had receivers, but not quite like to the level as
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
Landry,
right.
He's had Odell. He's had Kareem Hunt. He's had Nick Chubb. He's had his.
I've had Chubb too.
Okay, and I don't care if you've had Chubb or not.
This guy sucks.
All right.
Let's be real here. Kyle Trask is going forward. I said it to you guys 2 years ago. I liked Nick Chubb, or I'm sorry, I didn't like Nick Chubb. I liked Kyle Trask going into it when they drafted him. He was the guy that I thought the Bears should have drafted in the third, in the third round.
Wow.
Second round, third round.
That high on him, right?
He is a legit guy. I like Kyle Trask.
I was more of a Davis Mills fan. I know you liked him as well. He just got really situated on a bad team. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen with Davis Mills now that they drafted a quarterback? Do you think it's a legitimate quarterback competition, or is he sitting on the pine, or do you think Houston's going to trade him? Because, Mike, you and I have talked about it, and we both agree that this guy could actually be a good NFL quarterback. What's your thoughts on that?
Davis Mills can definitely be a good quarterback. Yeah, he can be one of those guys where it's like he can be a Matt Schaub, where he can go to a struggling team and be a starter for 8 years and potentially get them to the playoffs and be that guy. Well, exactly.
Playoffs.
I mean, and I think that's what a lot of
that guy.
Right.
But he could be he's a stopgap is what he is. He's a stopgap.
Yeah, that's what I think Davis Mills is too. But you never know. I think he's not going to get the opportunity because C.J. Stroud is there, but they're not just going to hand him over the job. There is going to be some type of competition at the end of the day. And I don't always agree with throwing the guy out there, but that's what the NFL wants to do is throw him out there and throw his feet into the fire, and we'll see if that's what the Bucs do with Kyle Trask. Of course, I think Baker Mayfield, more potential there with being a number 1 overall pick, with knowing the system from LA, running in a little bit with Sean McVay, and it seems like Dave Canales has a knack, and I get it, people are going to go, well, he wasn't the offensive coordinator last year. He was the – hold on, let me finish. He was the quarterback coach of Geno Smith, and I definitely think he was responsible with turning him around, and I think he could do the same thing with Baker Mayfield, and I think it's amazing when you've got better coaching what Mayfield could do. Maybe he doesn't always have the coaching. Maybe he's been injured. Again, those are excuses at the end of the day. He's going to get every opportunity because both of those quarterbacks are splitting the first-team reps. Go ahead, Mike.
So my question for you is this: is you being a big time Buck fan, you ranting and raving about the Buccaneers down there.
Sure.
How do you feel about Baker Mayfield coming into town when he went from?
I predicted it.
St. Louis to Los Angeles to Carolina, and now he's on the Bucs. I mean, like, how do you feel? Because to me, it kind of feels like he's kind of a cancer.
I don't necessarily think he's a cancer. He's come in and he said all the right things at the end of the day, but that doesn't really mean anything unless you're right until you're in a game situation. But he's got lots to prove at the end of the day, Fat Mike. I mean, 1-year contract, only $4.5 million. He wants to prove himself, and he feels like this gives him the best opportunity with weapons like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage. I don't know if he's going to be healthy again. He's hurt, so we'll see.
Oh, he's fine. He's going to be fine. Hey, Pete, may I interject with one thing?
Sure.
Because before the actual games go off, I know this is kind of off the cuff and moment for those of you that like to gamble. There are 2 games left this evening. I can give you the same pick. I made a 3-team parlay, which I never condone parlays. Mike, you might want to write this down. Colorado is at Arizona. Arizona's minus 150. They're a small favorite at home. They're 2 horrible teams, but you got to take Arizona. And here's the killer part. You got to parlay it with the New York Yankees on the road at plus 125 and play over 7. That's a 3-team parlay. Arizona Diamondbacks, the Yankees, and the over 7 points. Go ahead and put your few suckles on it and go ahead and win yourself some money tonight. Go ahead and continue to where you're at because you only got 6 minutes to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and put that on there.
And I'm definitely going to edit that up and put it on there and see how you did, because you did well the other night with the Game 7 with Boston and, of course, Miami, with Miami going on now to face the Denver Nuggets. With that being said, going back to your question, I feel good about Baker Mayfield. I think he gives the Bucs the best opportunity to win. Furthermore, I think the priority has been, Fat Mike, in this offseason, and it seems like in this drafting process, to get stronger at the point of attack, get faster. That means that offensive line. And if you're committed to the running game and taking the pressure off of Baker Mayfield, where he's not throwing the ball 40 or 50 times a game, and there isn't those decision-making things that he's going to have to do over and over again. So you throw a ball 40 to 50 times, there's more of a likelihood of throwing a couple interceptions or having fumbles. But if you have balance to your offense with Rashard White and whoever else is going to run the rock at the end of the day, I feel good about Mayfield's chances, especially with incorporating more pass play action to a guy like a Mike Evans and, of course, a Chris Godwin, who's 2 years removed from a major injury. So to answer your question, I think Baker Mayfield could have a turnaround season, much like Geno Smith did for the Seattle Seahawks. And furthermore, I'll take this a step further, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2023 are the version of the Seattle Seahawks in 2022 in
They're
that
better.
Well, everybody's ruling them out. Like Russell Wilson.
They're better. They're better than that team.
Absolutely.
This team has more superstars than that team ever had.
Right. But they could be better. And I go back to the whole comparison of Russell Wilson is leaving, so nothing is expected. And then you have Geno Smith who turns it around. Nothing's expected from this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team without Tom Brady. And I think they could pull it together, win this division, and surprise a lot of people.
Okay. So I got one other question for you.
Yes.
How would you feel about your team being in mediocrity?
It's a lot better than where the pundits have them at right now, Mike. You and I being Chicago diehard fans, I've been down here on the west coast of Florida for many years.
I guess to answer his question.
Harry and Pete, I've lived this.
Yes.
I live this. All of Chicago sports have been in mediocrity for decades.
Correct.
Yeah.
Whether it be the Bulls, the Cubs, the Sox, the Bears, whoever it be.
But Mike, let me go ahead and add one thing to
Okay.
what you're saying. The one difference about these Chicago teams that I can tell you is when they do put something together, they go down as arguably some of the best teams to ever play. Let me start with the 05 White Sox.
Bullshit.
What they did, what
Let's
they did in the playoffs,
go
what the
recent.
Chicago Bulls did, the 85 Bears. What are you kidding me?
Let's go recent. Let's go recent, Harry.
No, I just said when they've done something, when they've went to the pinnacle, they have been going down as some of the best of all time.
Let's go to the Bulls 2 years ago when they pick up Billy Donovan,
Yeah.
when they pick up Vucevic,
Yeah.
when they pick up DeMar DeRozan, when they pick up Lonzo Ball, when they re-sign Zach LaVine.
They need a guard, man.
It's mediocrity. Is
Well,
what it is.
the point is, and there's a lot of
you
Bucs
live-
fans that feel that
You
way,
live
Mike.
in that hell.
Right.
You live in that hell.
Right. Right.
Hey, you live in that hell. And that's what I'm trying to say. So, that being said, if you start Baker Mayfield as your quarterback this year, you are going to live in that hell for at least one more season.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that because, again, I think they can win this
guarantee
division. And I think
would bet my house.
I know where Mike's coming from this, and I'd like a chance to respond. Let me explain the different side of it.
Mhm.
Listen, Baker Mayfield right now, okay, is a better quarterback than Kyle Trask. Let me finish, Mike. Kyle Trask has more upside, and the team has a lot more invested in him because of what the potential is going to be. Also, being younger with no injuries to speak of. Okay, so that's why they need to give it to Kyle Trask. Listen, if this team was dedicated to Baker Mayfield to be the starter, they would have paid him starter money to come in for 1 year, not backup money. Jameis Winston, folks, is making more money than than Baker Mayfield.
Right.
Okay, that's ridiculous. Okay. Let's just be real here, because there is a 50-50 chance that, listen, the only way, in my opinion, that Baker Mayfield starts the season this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is if he completely, not a little bit, completely outplays Kyle Trask or Kyle Trask gets injured. My opinion.
And for me, I think it goes back to Gronkowski and his comments saying he feels like Baker is going to win out. And the only way that Baker could lose this job is if he plays terrible in training camp, performs terrible in training camp, and also in those game time situations. But to go back to your point, that's where a lot of fans are, Fat Mike, at this point. We got Fat Mike of 1252 Chicago Sports here, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television Live on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and the Hub. It's the Sports Web. I think a lot of people would rather see this team either make the playoffs or be the worst team in the National Football League, because you want to get one of those two quarterbacks in a Drake May out of North Carolina, or, of course, collapse for Caleb Williams out of USC. But I feel like Todd Bowles, you're trying.
You don't want to bring USC or UCLA quarterbacks up to Bear fans. Okay?
Well, I get that. I get that, Cade McNown and of course, others like that, and their quarterbacks don't necessarily.
Jimmy Leinart. I'm just saying.
Right. Matt Leinart, and
that's right, Matt Leinart.
Yeah. So going back to it though, I think there's a lot of fans out there who feel like, you know what, they're going to be not a good team, and they don't want them to be a good team. But I think, and I'm sorry that I'm past your bedtime here, Harry the Greek, but at the end of the day, Todd Bowles wants to win games. And if he feels like Baker Mayfield is going to give him that best chance and that opportunity, then they're going to go with Baker Mayfield. And I feel like that's the reason why he's going to most likely win out, because he does have that quarterback experience. And you talk about upside with Kyle Trask. Yeah, maybe upside where you're like, you know what? Are we going to test that out? And
they're going to give Kyle every opportunity to
they
start.
Are.
First off, it's Kyle Trask's job to lose.
I disagree with you. I don't think it's Kyle Trask's job to lose. But here's the thing: there's actually somebody that does.
I mean, but we're also talking to the same guy that was living a pipe dream that kept thinking, "Oh my God, we have a chance of getting Aaron Rodgers here." Or, oh my God, we have a chance of getting a Deshaun Watson. Or, hold on, sorry, Jackson from Baltimore. Let's go back and let's talk about Lamar Jackson. That
Well,
we were going to go out and go get Lamar.
I would have taken Lamar Jackson, and I think
you would have.
any other given year,
And the team would be worse.
No, they wouldn't. They would be better.
Would you like me to explain why?
Sure, go ahead. I don't know how you bring it worse with the
because you bring Lamar and then you have to get rid of half of the team to pay the stupid.
You
get out of here.
You do not. The Bucs over there, they know what they're doing when it comes to salary cap and everything else.
That's apparent. They paid $4 million for a really decent quarterback. Are you kidding me? They know exactly what they're doing.
All the dead money they had from the Brady deal, they went all in for the last 3 years. Let's not go down this route again, because if the Bucs did have the money, they would go for Lamar Jackson, and theoretically, it makes lots of sense.
They didn't.
Let
me keep repeating.
Let me go ahead and rephrase it. If they had the money, any other given year, they would have went after Lamar Jackson, because he is a 26-year-old franchise quarterback, and those don't grow on trees.
Is Mike still on?
Fat Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening to you guys bitch and moan.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You know who else is not going to be bitching and moaning here? Because this just came down. There was breaking news here that Shannon Sharp is basically buying himself out of Undisputed. He's no longer going to be a part of that show, along with his podcast.
Come on, seriously, who the fuck wants to work with Skip Bayless?
Well,
me.
And again, that was the breaking news.
I would cut off my left nut not to work with.
I love Skip.
Well, I think a lot of people compare me and Harry to Skip and Shannon. I'm not.
But P.
Yes, but Skip.
But P.
But Skip. I'm going to miss that. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing they have. I'm curious to see where Shannon Sharp goes. You saw Pat McAfee go to ESPN. So does Shannon follow? Does he go to ESPN? Are they trying to step up with all the salary cuts? And all the people that are losing their jobs at the end of the day, I mean, Shannon going with Stephen A. Smith would be interesting in itself.
Would be just fine. Shannon Sharp will be just fine.
You think so?
Yeah.
So what do you think Skip Bayless is going to do?
Sit on ESPN.
Well, he's going to sit on Fox. He's going to sit on Fox Sports.
No, but who do you think they're going to make a co-host with him?
It doesn't matter. He sucks anyways.
I got one for you. Max Kellerman.
You know what? That would be a real good matchup
Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman, because he doesn't have a show anymore there, and it would make sense. Both of those guys to switch out. Max Kellerman.
You can have two people that know absolutely nothing. Talk. That'd be great.
Huh?
He's got Max, J. Will, and Keyshawn in the morning.
Is he on there? I didn't know he was on there at all. I thought he had.
Yeah. That's before you get up in the morning. You're right, because Mike and I are real men. We get up at the crack ass of dawn.
Oh yeah.
And we actually turn it. Mike, tell him what time do you get up in the morning, Mike?
Right now, is that why you're yawning? Because you're past your bedtime.
It's 4 a.m. It's Max, J. Will, and Keyshawn. Jay Williams, Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, I think if Fox,
and nothing personal. I'd rather watch grass grow than listening to Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He's not.
He really is.
All right, Fat Mike. And then what else do you want?
What do I want?
Yes,
I came here to be a guest. I don't know. I don't want anything.
All right.
Yeah, he was nice, man. Stop picking on my guy.
Yeah, I was cursing all of a sudden. I was cursing and he was cursing.
Mike has been a gentleman the whole time. I think we should kick you off of your show.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly. Kick me off my own show. And then where do you guys go then after that? You go nowhere. Be quiet.
Listen,
shut up.
I don't know what the fuck. Listen, I don't know what the fuck you guys want. I've been a gentleman the entire time.
I wanted you not to use the F word. That would have been nice, but thank you very much for doing it, Fat Mike.
I messed that one up. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, Mike, the check's in the mail, bro.
Dude, you're an asshole. How about that? All right, love you too, brother. I had to curse a little bit too. All right.
Love you, man. You take care of yourself, Mike. We'll talk to you soon. 12. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, 12:52. Kick it into gear.
Kick it into gear, guys. 12:52 Sports Chicago.
All right,
there you go. You take care of yourself. Thanks for coming on, Mike. Appreciate the call.
Mike, appreciate the call. right, good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek Professional Handicapper Extraordinaire. Guess we got no Leo tonight, so that's okay. We'll continue to do this until... I don't know, whenever we get Turnbuckle Talk to come on. I'll get you out of here in just a moment. So we go on to Roger Go Saints. Yes. Roger Shoe says, got to change up the intro music. All right, read that one. Roger Rejoice. Greekites, our leader, is in the house. Roger again. Greek sing, go Cubs, go baby. KR says, evening, guys. What's going on, KR?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Raise up, baby. Raise up.
Yep, absolutely. Potty mouth Pete.
Yep.
Roger says Rays will in the
second half.
Well, they got some good news. Pete Fairbanks is not going to miss that much of time. He hurt his hip. That's good news there. We'll see.
What is up with his arm? His delivery does not seem to be the same.
It's all off this year with this guy, and I tell you right now.
And it's a shame. I don't get it.
Well,
I truly don't get it.
He's a major part of this bullpen. He's got a 1.56 ERA, so they're going to need as many bullpen arms as possible. Again, going back to the game today, Jalen Beeks with bases loaded in a high-leverage situation after Colin Poche got them in that situation. He was lucky to get out of it, but great strikeout there at the end of the day. We talked to Roberto about this going back to baseball. There's a reason why Brandon Lau was still in the lineup, and there's a lot of people out there who are disappointed.
He's a home run hitter, bro.
He's a home run hitter, but he's hitting right now nearly hitting under 200. It's like hitting 205 at this point.
He's right at the Mendoza line.
Right at the Mendoza line. But you have to agree with Kevin Cash, and you have to agree with Roberto Hernandez saying the reason why he's in the middle of that lineup is because there's nobody else that's able to have that power, right?
That's absolutely correct. They're not trying to bat around him. There's a reason why this team is leading the league in homers right now. There's a reason why this team can smack the ball off and they smack the leather right off the cover. It's just he's your home run hitter. He's not going to bat more than 225. If he gets to 230, rejoice.
Yeah.
Okay. Rejoice, because the days of having a 270 hitter and a guy that hits 30 plus homers, those days are almost done. There's very far and few in between. Sorry, they just really are. Right, Bandit?
And again, 11 players with 7 home runs or more. Jose Siri, I think he's definitely been a big-time story. We always talk about Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena, but Siri is a big part of this. And I think there's a lot of fans out there that had big-time question marks with the fan favorite, like a Kevin Kiermaier not being on this team anymore. What could Siri do if he's been given the opportunity? Much like what Todd Bowles talked about with Kyle Trask, giving him the reps, giving him the opportunity. Yeah. Now you see with Siri being given the opportunity. All right, let's go out to Best of the Bay. Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, on with yours truly, along with your next-door neighbor, Mr. Harry the Greek Professional Handicapper Extraordinaire. What do you have to say about your Tampa Bay Rays and their 40th win over the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley, 4-3? Welcome to the Evolution.
Brothers, great show.
Thank you.
What, thank you. That would have been that game today. I don't know, like you said, Harry, we talked in there, like they weren't picking the ball up right. And I remember all the Cubs games back in the day with Harry, and all them and Maddox. And I remember that.
Yes, that's my best Harry Carey. Yes.
Sorry.
Well, no, you got Steve Stone too.
Cubs.
Well, it's 220, and you're used to that. And again, going back to a lot of people go, well, the Rays, they're struggling against one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Guys, it happens. It's a long season. The Rays are not going to go in there and run roughshod over everybody. That's the great thing about baseball. It goes through the ebbs and flows.
Well, here's the thing, though. The national media, and rightly so, Arozarena, Franco came out upon him. Is there trouble here? Does Franco overplay his play? He's El Patron. Of course he overplays. He's the stud. But they're looking for the chink in the armor. We've lost 2 pitchers. Jeffrey Springs goes down in Reno, and so all this stuff. Everyone wants to figure out how this team's going to succeed. They dropped the first 2 of this 3-game set. They could not drop today's game. And it ended up going bases loaded to bottom of the 9, 2 outs, full count.
Yep.
And he comes through. and Jalen Beeks comes through. So as bad as this game, losing the first sweep on the road of the season and then going into Boston for a 4-game set, the win, I think, puts us in the other direction and continues as the best
Great
team
comment.
in baseball.
That's a great comment, Pete. Pete, that's a great comment, right? I'm going to explain why, because it's all about the momentum is what really drives you home. However, with that being said, if they're going back, they're going to be playing the teams on the East. But the scary part about this team right now, they are a 40-win team with arguably just a mediocre bullpen right now. And I'm not kidding you. It's mediocre. And they've got to address this. And this is where the fans have to demand that the ownership gets off their damn wallet before the deadline, and they have to bring in some arms.
I disagree.
Don't disagree on that one, because remember, there's going to be only a couple of teams sitting on their hips. And if you don't have closers to get it done, Ray, this team could fall apart this quick. They're not needing 5 pitchers, Ray. I'm only asking for 1, maybe even 2. They need a proven lefty, because Jake Diekman is not the guy that's going to get people out. They need a lefty in that bullpen, and they need to pick up another guy that's a setup guy. And this team will be they won't win the division. They will run away with the division.
If Fairbanks doesn't come off of this whatever's the injury thing going on with him, and he doesn't start to show that the guy who was literally the 26 scoreless innings he pitched to be set. Oh, he's only 27 now. He leads the Rays in team history for consecutive innings scoreless. Now I agree with you guys though. They do need to be prepared toward the selling deadline to get a pitcher in here. But I think at this point, the Jalen Beeks, the Adams, these young guys you're pulling up, it's us against the world attitude. That's the right way the Rays have won the American League East 3 of the last 4 years, and they've made 2 World Series. Never buy.
But they didn't win it. That's the key.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
But 28 teams didn't make it, guys. 28.
That's right. But why take?
Listen, man, I don't want to be a bridesmaid. Win the God bless the thing. That's what I'm asking. Let's just get 1, maybe just 2 arms in that bullpen, Ray. I'm not asking.
No, I'm not saying at the deadline they don't do that. But right now, the chemistry of this team comes from the fact that we have the best farm system still in Major League Baseball. And we ask these young guys, he puts these guys on these islands, but the other 8 on the field at any given time are picking up for them because they realize it's an us against the world mentality. We could bring in, let's get Jarrett Cole from the Yankees. How good's he doing for them? Are they in 4th or 5th place?
Right. I'm not saying you go out there, Garrett Cole. What I'm saying is, like Harry said, if you have to make a big trade at the deadline, you have to open up your pocketbook.
Not even big. I'm asking for a trade.
Right.
Because from the words from a guy, from the words from the man that has played professional baseball and won, Roberto Hernandez, we've had this conversation. No matter how good your farm system is, if you are relying on a young arm to come in and do something in the playoffs, you're in a pipe dream. You got to have the leadership. Not that they don't have the capabilities, Ray. Please don't take me wrong. Don't get me wrong on this. They need that leadership to say, hey, kid, hey, slow down out there. Hey, kid, you need to do this. That's where it comes from. And it ain't just a pitching coach. Because let me tell you something. There's only a couple of pitching coaches in the entire major leagues that are worth a shit. Okay? It ain't because of the pitching coach that these teams play the way they do.
No.
And I'll tell you right now, right?
2020.
Yes.
2020. Kevin Cash pulls out Blake Snell in the 6th inning of that game. Analytics screwed us.
Yes. You know what else screwed you? You know what else screwed you? What else screwed you?
No bat.
Is because you didn't make a trade for a bat at the deadline. You didn't make a trade for an extra arm. Wouldn't it have been nice to have that extra arm? Wouldn't it have been nice to have that extra?
They would have won that World Series, guys.
That's all I'm saying.
You don't pull Blake.
Ruin the chemistry. I'm saying make the move to put you over.
Don't pull Blake Snell out of that game. They win that game probably. You had one more other bullpen arm, and you're not talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series. You're talking about the Tampa Bay Rays possibly winning that World Series, and it was a shame.
Yep.
But you said it, Peter. You said that a minute ago. You made the key phrase right there. Don't screw with the team chemistry. But yes, be prepared to go, especially with the way you're selling out the Trop this year. And Stu, are you in? Are we going to build this stadium?
This team is managed. This team is good enough. They're managed well enough to handle somebody that could come in here. I'm not worried about the chemistry on this team. What I'm worried about is them running out of pitchers at the end of the day. You've already lost 2 starters. You have a problem with the bullpen. The bullpen is getting it done. I'm going back to Roberto. He says they're going to figure it out. But if you have an opportunity to overtake one of these teams and it gets you over the top by making a move for an extra pitcher, for an extra hitter, you got to make the move, and it can't be just about monetary. Yes, you have to forget about.
I don't think the sticks is what they're looking for. I don't think they're going to have a problem with their sticks. They could use one more bat at the bottom of their lineup, but it is not anywhere near as imperative as getting 1 or 2 bullpen arms.
That's part of what's going on with the Rays in 2023 is they haven't even started to play small ball. We got the fastest team in the league.
They are playing small ball. They
play small ball, right?
They're playing small ball.
Leading the Major League Baseball in home runs. I mean,
they're leading. They're not only leading. Listen, we said this, and we're on with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy here. Very passionate about the Tampa Bay Rays. You got professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, Harry the Greek. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We led off with this point. Since the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers, there has not been a team in Major League Baseball that has not only led in home runs, but also stolen bases. So enough of, well, they're not playing small. They are playing small ball because they're leading with – They are playing small ball because they're stealing bases. They're taking advantage of the rules. That's why I say if you have to make a trade for a bullpen arm at the deadline or before the damn deadline, you make the trade. I don't care how much it's going to cost you. Make the move to win a World Series. That's it.
There's 24 teams in Major League Baseball that are short-staffed.
I don't care about those teams. I care about the Tampa Bay Rays.
But I'm saying that the old narrative is what Stu Sternberg hasn't done all along. We've seen this year finally setting records, 100-year-old records in Major League Baseball. Oh, my God, the Trop is sold out in the bottom ring. They got people walking around. This team's continue to make improvements to the cavernous concrete cave that we call the world's greatest indoor garage sale place before they got a Major League team. This team has invested, and I believe with the way they're playing this year, especially that they're not relying on analytics or letting these kids play, but still using analytics at specific strategic times to make decisions, they will make that, guys. They will make that investment if they need that arm. But right now, the way they're playing, I don't want to see anything mess with this chemistry. Unless a pitcher falls from the sky and unless he's a Chicago White Sox, I'm just saying that for your sake, Harry. I think this team's doing fine, but they will buy at the deadline.
I think they're going to buy at the deadline too. It's a great conversation.
Don't be too sure about it, but I will tell you this much. but don't be. Let me explain something to Ray. Listen, the fans are doing their part. They're going to the games.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to the games. And that's all Stu has said. Hey, man, support us. He's alluded to it. Let's see if he's a man of his word. He just needs to go. I'm not asking him to go out and get Mariano Rivera. It would be nice. Okay. But go out and get some good serviceable arms for situational pitching. They are lacking a lefty in that bullpen right now badly.
Yeah.
Well, they got Poche and you got Beeks who got out of a situation, but you're exactly right. It would be nice to have a lefty. It would be nice to have another arm at the end of the day. And listen, if you have to give up prospects, and I'll go back to this, people are like, well, you have to give up prospects on that farm. Okay.
You have to.
Let's go back to the time machine here. You could have gotten possibly a Cliff Lee at the time, and you had to give up Desmond Jennings. Everybody thought Desmond Jennings was the heir apparent.
You remember Cliff Lee?
Yeah, I remember Cliff Lee. I remember.
Anybody remember his nickname?
No, I don't remember his nickname.
El Cubayo.
And why did they say that for?
We are talking about the same Cliff Lee, the White Sox and the Cubs.
Oh, I thought Bruce Lee.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, we're talking about the pitcher.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. For the Rangers and for the Phillies, at the end of the day, if you get a pitcher in that staff and you have to give up prospects at the end of the day and it helps you win a World Series, I'm okay with doing that. And we're never going to know. We can't go back to the time machine and do that because the Rays weren't willing to give up their prospects. And oh, by the way, Desmond Jennings wasn't the next Carl Crawford. He was just decent. I get it.
God, I miss Carl Crawford.
He may give up a prospect and he may turn out to be a superstar. But at the end of the day, if you win a World Series because of it, go for it. Do it.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
I'll finish with this question.
Yes.
I'll finish with this question.
Yes.
Are we saying that we would totally buy into today's NFL? That you can go for a championship, then tank for 5 years and try to get a Caleb Williams, and then try again, have a 3 or 4 year window with a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract? Or is it not exciting to be in that tournament each and every year and just hope to catch fire, get healthy, and beat the shit out of everybody?
To answer your question, would you rather have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win their 2 championships and go for it, or would you like them to be on the doorstep every year and never win it? I think you answered your own question. What would you rather have?
How much did the Bucs, other than bringing in a Michael Pittman and a Joe Jurevicius, the Bucs never sold out and went out and bought off.
Whoa. Revisionist history here, my friend. John Gruden went out and got 17 offensive free agents, including Keenan McCardell, Joe Jurevicius, Michael Pittman, Ken Dilger, Ricky Dudley. But they didn't have to be superstars. They were superstars for the.
They don't have to be. Big
but here's the thing:
you guys are just justifying the point that I was trying to make.
Right. Yeah, the point is, you go all in. I've said that from the very get-go, and I tell you right now, going back to Stu, he's done a good job this year. He hasn't downgraded the fans. They've lowered the tickets. You got Randy Land. You've got excitement with this team. You're not talking necessarily about the stadium, and that's the reason why people are going. And they're also going because they feel like they're welcomed to go. That's the reason why you're drawing so many fans.
Good point.
But the blueprint in this town has already been set. The standard has been set with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Jeff Vinik. We're going all in. We're signing their own players. We're going out there in the trading deadline and making those trades so the Lightning can win multiple Stanley Cups. The standard has been set with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020, going all in the next year. Didn't necessarily work out because you had Antonio Brown, who we'll get back to in just a moment there, absolutely ruined that locker room. And you get hurt with Tristan Wirfs, and you get this player hurt. Who knows what could have happened if Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs are on that team? Maybe you're talking about back-to-back Super Bowls. But the point is, the fans are used to those teams doing it. It's time for the Rays to do what those other teams have do. That's what it comes down to.
They are.
Could they be? We'll see.
They're the best team in baseball.
Well, they're best team in baseball. But when you have an opportunity to make a trade at the deadline, you must make that trade. Just like Harry the Greek said, you have to go all in. And if you're going all in, that means getting somebody that may disrupt that chemistry. That means going all in and giving up a prospect that may turn out to be a superstar. To answer your question,
I have a question for both of you, and it requires a yes or no answer.
Yes, go ahead.
And nothing more. Ray, I'll start with you. We were talking about and alluding to the fact that you sell yourself to the devil basically just to win a championship. If that was the case, you win it, and all of a sudden you're in purgatory for the next 5 years. That's what you were talking about, correct?
No, I'm just talking about the way these teams nowadays, they figure.
No, I'm just saying, but that's what we were kind of talking about. Right?
You were talking about. Would you rather?
My question is this: enjoying a beer, sitting in front of the house, doing the shows together, talking about it and debating it. And I was very critical about particular players for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one in particular and one Tom Brady. Would you have been better off last year getting rid of him and granting his wish before the season started that he didn't want to play to be in a better position this year? And I understand hindsight's 2020. Yes or no? Would you have let him out of his contract?
You're asking a hypothetical, and I'll answer with a hypothetical. If it would have meant going and getting Deshaun Jackson, but it would have guaranteed the Buccaneers won Super Bowl 57, I'd have said hell no. I'd take Tom Brady another year and take a run with the GOAT if the alternative would have been to sell our soul to bring a devil like Deshaun Watson in here, even if it guaranteed the Bucs their third Lombardi. So
how about you, Pete?
I mean, I think the right decision was made, even though there was a lot of distractions and he was already thinking about retiring from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got to go for it. If you got the GOAT and Tom Brady, you have to go for it. And that's what that front office told you. And I would have sold my soul to the devil if it was meaning that you win a Super Bowl in 2020. I don't know, but I'm not going to go ahead and answer that phone call right now. We're going to go ahead and hold off on that unless you're calling about sports, John. Go ahead and call back. Alex, I know you called in. If you guys want to call in, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. If it comes down to winning a Super Bowl championship, I'm all in at the end of the day. So
I will still stand on my soapbox and say the only thing I didn't agree in the past 4 years with what Tampa Bay has done, and a great job that I might add, is they should have let that man go when he didn't want to play last year, because that was the result. I think we're now talking about I think the Bucs still win the division last year, okay? And I think they're in a better place this year if they would have let him go.
No, I don't think they would have, but I'll tell you why. Because they would have taken that cap hit. You would have had Blaine Gabbert or Kyle Trask starting. Blaine Gabbert, his record speaks for itself: 13-39 as an NFL starter. Or 13
it doesn't matter because you still had Byron Leftwich as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and how did that work out? How did that work out for you last year?
No, I'm saying you had 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. So what would have happened? Maybe we'd have gotten lucky and they'd have started Kyle Trask.
You didn't have 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. Yeah, Ryan Jensen was hurt. Ali Marpet that retired by the year. And you had Donovan Smith who took a step back.
I know one thing the Bucs would have been doing last year if they didn't have Tom Brady. It would have been run the football.
Maybe it would have, but it could have been also a disaster. It could have been a complete and total disaster at the end of the day.
I'll tell you where it wouldn't be. If I tell you where it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be sitting here right now with a quarterback competition between a Heisman Trophy winner and a runner-up Heisman Trophy winner with a brand new offensive coordinator who happens to be the most buffest offensive coordinator in the entire NFL.
Only Ray would
Only
know
Ray.
this. You have no idea. I love when Ray calls in.
I do too. I love when Ray calls. Tampa Bay or Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Cup of Ray here on the network. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, PHB Studio Network. Definitely, if you're interested in that, get with me, inbox me, and we'll make it happen. Bring your broadcast to life. With that being said, yes, Todd Bowles had some interesting comments, gentlemen, about Mike Evans here. I'll tell you what, let's go out to Mr. Roger Shue here. Roger, the tribal troll, will merge the calls up here. Be good. You're on with Tampa Bay Ray, along with Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Go ahead. Roger Shue. Roger Shue going once. Roger Shue going twice. Roger Shue is gone. So I don't know where Tampa Bay Ray is. I guess he is gone too. And I know Alex is trying to call in. So, Alex, if you're trying to call in, all right, Roger, go ahead.
All right, check your super chats.
I know you sent me money, buddy. What are you looking for?
No.
There it is.
I sent money for the Greek.
Okay, and it's gonna be for me because it's going to my fund. So stop.
Hold on. Put that back up there again. It says for the Greek, not Peter.
Okay, but it's my show, so screw you both.
This guy sucks.
All right, there you go. I'll give him the money if I want to give him the money. How about that? Now, what do you want?
Really nice, huh? There.
How about that?
So then, how can I send money to the Greek in Tampa Bay Ray?
You can, get your fat ass into a car and give it to him if you want to. I don't care what.
Oh, that's how it works.
How about that? How about that? What do you want, Ray? What do you want? You got Ray off of here.
I just wanted Harry to know that I sent him a couple of shekels to bet.
Right. $10 because $10 is making him sleep better at night. What do you want?
Does.
I'm sure it does.
It does.
How much have you donated to the Greek, Peter?
By the way, in the bottom of the second, Arizona's winning 3-0.
All right, 3-0 Arizona. So that was a pick.
Guys, have a good night.
All right, appreciate you.
Roger, have a good one. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
CM Punk is back. That was the other breaking news. So we'll talk about that with Turnbuckle Talk with, of course, Mr. Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer, and, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams there. Newest radio personality in Pittsburgh. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live on the Evolution. Open phone lines. If you want to call in, Ray, call back if you can. Alex, I know you tried to call 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Evolution. It's the Sports Web Live on I Love St. Pete, the hub, and Amped Up Sports. So getting back to it, I think we've made the claim here that if you have to go for it, you go for it. That's my sense on it. And people keep on and continue to say, well, would you do this differently? No, I think the Glazers did the right thing. I think the organization did the right thing with going with Tom Brady. You had to do it. You had to give it another opportunity to win a Super Bowl because you were basically only, a couple plays away from playing in the NFC Championship game versus the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo. Speaking of Garoppolo, let's switch gears. Are you surprised what has come out this week about him not even passing a physical and now the Raiders not even knowing if they're going to pay him the money that they were supposedly going to pay him? I mean, it's just a complete and total show there with the Las Vegas Raiders, no matter if they're in LA, Oakland, Vegas, or El Segundo, which I think a lot of fans right now wish they were, with Jimmy Garoppolo as your starting quarterback. And once again, lo and behold, he's hurt.
It's the Raiders. I've talked about this before with you. The Raiders will always be the Raiders.
Harry, how can you sign a guy that hasn't even passed a physical? And he's going to have foot surgery. Are you that desperate? There wasn't quarterbacks out there you could go get. And I feel like, and you go ahead and comment on this also, the betting odds right now, 2-1, are that Tom Brady comes out of retirement and becomes the starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. Give me your over-under of you thinking that's going to happen this year.
If he actually buys a particular part of the ownership and the owners will agree to let him play, I give it 100%. Why wouldn't they do that? But then again, it's the Raiders, and the Raiders will be the Raiders. Hey, man, before you go to your turnbuckle talk, you should read the comments.
All right, so let me go back out to the comments here. Let's see here. Head coach Josh McDummo. That's good. Ralph Williams there in the private chat. Okay, let's see. Hey, Peter and Harry says, David, thanks a lot for coming on, David. Roger says with the thumbs up. David with the thumbs down. Fat Mike, I don't know what
that's about the Mazzola roller party.
Right. So I've tried. It says Fat Mike. Roger says play the funk. We did. Roger, again, it's all about Chicago family on the sports web. Christopher Cole, evening, guys. What's up, Christopher?
Boom, yeah.
I just did what Harry said and lost my money again. Thanks a lot, Harry.
This guy sucks.
Coach Prime, once again, Troy, Bucs will not win the division. All right, Coach says, I told some crackheads on Fowler that Harry said the Bucs would win 10 to 12 games, and they said they wanted to be on what Harry was on. Any comments?
Yeah.
No. Terrible comment as always. Mr. Williams, Daniel Williams, what's good? Tampa Bay Buccaneers for life 813. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Yeah.
Christopher Cole, tag me in. Pete, laugh out loud.
Woo!
Good stuff there, Christopher. The Rays bullpen had a scary moment today, but they only gave up the one run in the Cubs series. You're absolutely correct. But it has been a nail-biting process. Greg says, I would like to see Brandon Lau at the 5 spot instead of 3.
No.
And we talked about that. Roberto said it best. The Rays know what they're doing. They're going to move him down when they want to, but at the end of the day, he's been the only player. He's just a couple years removed from 39 home runs. That's the reason why they keep him in that spot in the first place, to the chagrin of a lot of fans out there at the end of the day. So I understand where you're coming from, Greg. I just don't see it happening. Mr. Blake, thank you very much, Neat, for tuning in. Mickey says, hi, everyone. Sports Junk Radio Network, giving up prospects is
absolutely
fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great comment. Great comment.
All right, so let's go out to the phone lines. This guy calling up, Mr. Mayor, the real mayor of New York, Mr. Anthony Giuliani. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, big-time Jets fan. What's going on, man? Welcome to the Sports Web.
Nothing, man. Just checking in with you, making sure you're doing your thing out there. I see you're covering the Rays when you should be covering some NBA action there, Pete.
Well, tell me.
We did.
We did cover it, and we did say, you got to watch this show and you got to watch the Facebook feed, because the man of the hour has to be Harry the Greek, because he predicted in Game 7 that Miami was going to not only win it, but win it with the points there. I got to ask you, do you think they have a chance versus the Denver Nuggets? And, of course, the Joker, the real MVP of the league, Jokovic.
Denver and 5 is what I'm saying.
Denver and
Jokic,
5.
Yeah, Nikola, like Jokic is a no joke, dude. He's the real deal, Holyfield. Everyone's got to respect him. He's got no flash, but he's got all footwork, all, he's just very, very fundamental. He reminds me of Tim Duncan. He's kind of low key, but he's a low key MVP, which makes him special.
Humble, very humble man. Never took any of the credit. Everything was to credit not only to God, but it was to credit to all of his teammates. That was so impressive.
It was impressive, and I tell you right now, you got to hats off to Jimmy Butler, who's played out of his mind. I mean, his whole story, not knowing his father, being homeless, it just drives that man, and he just continues to perform. And he's a great player around the league that nobody really talks about because, like you said, with Jokovic, he's very humble. So 5 for the Nuggets. All right, so what do you think? LeBron James I know he's your favorite player.
He's not my favorite player.
Well,
hate is real.
No, the hate's not real because when you have, Anthony, when you have this conversation about Michael Jordan, and remember now, Harry the Greek is a Chicago guy.
It don't make a difference. I'm a Chicago guy. There is no comparison. Come on, guys, stop.
Right. I think it's for me.
No disrespect.
Right.
To LeBron James, great player. Kobe Bryant, one of my all-time favorite players. But if Michael Jordan,
but people have to stop comparing, and that's where
they have to. You're right.
He's in year 20. He's in year 20.
Agree.
He gets hated the most. He defeated the last year's champs fair and square.
Yeah.
Right.
No. You know what Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors said?
All they say is, "Oh, he's not Michael."
Do you know what? Do you know what Steve Kerr said of the Golden State Warriors?
What did he say?
If Michael Jordan played in today's game, he would average over 40 a game.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I go back to LeBron James. You definitely should give him credit for what he's doing in his 20th year. He's still playing at somewhat of a high level. My question
LeBron could have played in that. And let me tell you something. Without all the flopping and horse crap, trust me, that wouldn't have been he wouldn't have been doing that, okay? Back in the 90s, the 80s and 90s. If LeBron played in that era, LeBron would have been a very successful. Wouldn't be the LeBron of today. He would be very successful.
But it's a flopping era, so he's going to do what he has to do to win.
Correct. Without question. You are absolutely correct.
If Jimmy Butler flops, makes it to the finals, he's great. If LeBron flops, makes it to the finals, he's a flopper. You see the difference?
That's a fair point, and I think
but one gets the Emmy, okay? One gets the Emmy.
I
mean, LeBron James, he talks about how great he is. Michael Jordan sits there and listens to everybody talk about how great he is. There's your difference.
Michael talked about how great he was, and so did LeBron James. So did Charles Barkley.
Not like that.
You're right, but LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer of all time, so he can.
Sure. And how many more years did he get?
Right. Can we all say also that you can score a lot more in this era because there is no defense, there is no big man. They've taken the physicality out of the game. I feel like if you had the physicality at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily so sure he would be
less years. Here's the end of my statement. Less years. Yes. Michael Jordan had a three-peat twice. Kobe Bryant had a three-peat, and LeBron had a three-sweep.
Fair said. All right. Well,
okay.
The Greek is real. He keeps it real.
The Greek is real here on the.
I love LeBron, bro. I love LeBron. I don't like today's NBA though, like I did before.
The Greeks got to do me a favor though.
What do you got, brother?
You got to give me a discount at the Hungry Greek, man. I like their pitas. I like their feta. You got to hook me up on that.
Where at?
The Hungry Greek, man.
Oh, the Hungry
Greek City Cafe. You are the Greek. Take me to Tarpon Springs.
You know what? We can go to Tarpon Springs. I'd love to take you there. There's actually two nice little places there. One's called Mykonos. You would call it Mykonos, but it's Mykonos. It's right there in Dodecanese, which is the main drive. It looks like someone's old house, but the food there is just extraordinary. And where I really like to go is on a Friday night or even a Saturday evening. It's a little hard to get in. You could sit outside. You have a little mazé, your little appetizers, and you get the bouzouki music going. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere is just an absolute blast. You're more than welcome. Go ahead and DM me. We'll all go together. We'll bring Pete down there, and we'll just have a really, really good time.
I've never had Greek food before. I really have never had Greek food before.
Peter, love to tell you, you're full of shit. You've had Greek food before. You've been to my house. You've eaten it going, what is this? I said, don't worry about it. Just keep shoveling it in your mouth. And you're like, this is delicious. Good.
Not as much as you think I have. A little bit. Maybe a little bit, but not like the full entree and everything like that. We're on with the real mayor of New York, Mr. Anthony Giuliani. With that being said, we talked NBA. I got to ask you, how excited are you with Aaron Rodgers being with the New York Jets?
How about them Jets, baby?
Can they win?
Yes. You mean Brett Favre part 2?
Do you think do you think it's that again? Do you think he's going to have that impact?
I'm a Jets fan, bro. I'm not getting my hopes up. You're crazy.
Well, Mayor, I don't know if you knew this or not, but they've already announced it. In 2035, Jordan Love will be a New York Jet.
Did you guys hear about Tina Turner?
Yeah, she passed away, unfortunately.
Yes, she passed away.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was absolutely.
Okay.
I got a joke for you guys. Ready? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Not Tina Turner.
Not Tina Turner. Hey, do you remember Sonny and Cher?
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy sucks.
There was a good song. Okay, and everybody repeat after me. Da, 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 I hit tree, babe.
Oh, man.
I hit tree, babe.
I'll tell you, you guys are on a roll tonight. You really are. Great job there.
We're gonna get in a web of controversy. You guys.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
we can go politics next if you want. How about religion? This is even better.
Go politics or religion on this show. Good stuff there, Mayor.
Mayor, you're awesome, man. Thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate the comments. We do got to get together. Seriously, hit me up. We'll do something really fun.
The Mr. Anthony Giuliani, the real mayor of New York, calling the evolution my boss there. I'll see you tomorrow, boss. That is the real boss. That is not Troy, who tries to be like the boss. All right.
That's your boss?
That's my boss, yeah. Yeah, he knows his sports. I'm telling you right now, he could actually be a sports broadcaster and do this full time if that's what he wanted to do. Seriously.
I hit tree, babe.
All right, it's still exit the game early. The Rays lose because the Cubs bullpen is bad. Good stuff, Christopher. I see the two guys there, the Mancini brothers. We'll get them on in a moment. Sports Junkie Radio Network. That would be Ozzy right there. Brady had an MVP season in 2021. How could you let him go? He makes a great point and a astute point, as always. Back-to-back 40 touchdown seasons by Tom Brady. You couldn't give up on him. You didn't know he's going to be a 25 and 9 guy or whatever he was last year.
Listen, Ozzy, nobody, including Tom Brady, is above the team.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I don't care who you are. Okay. He did. It was great what he did for the organization. Now, let me be very clear when I say this. I don't hate Tom Brady. Absolutely loved what he did for this organization. Loved all the accolades. I loved everything that he's done in the National Football League. But when you flat out tell the ownership, I don't want to play for you, and if I do play for you, you need, allegedly, I can't work with Bruce Arians. So you're now pulling a Michael Jordan, in a sense, to what happened to Doug Collins in Chicago. The difference is Jordan made it work and Brady didn't. Okay, you just don't do that. I didn't agree when Jordan did it, and I sure as hell didn't agree with what he did to Bruce Arians. And by the way, I'm not a BA fan. Never was. Never believed in his offense. But when you don't want to play for an organization and you get your head coach fired, sorry, Ben, that's just wrong.
If BA is a part of this team this year as a coach with Tom Brady, does this team do better offensively, and do they do better win-wise?
What, this year?
Yeah.
Of course they're going to do better because you're going to have a healthier offensive line, and you just got done drafting more offensive linemen. But I'm going to tell you right now, Pete,
I'm saying last year.
Last year? No, they would. Honestly, I don't think Tom would have finished the season.
Wow.
Honestly, it's because, listen, when you're as great of an athlete as a Tom Brady is, you think you could still make every single throw, which for the most part he could. It didn't have quite the same zip that he had from before, but a lot of that was because he didn't have time. Okay, you needed to run the football. This team ran the football less than 350 times and passed it over 750 times for the season. And did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that on first down, they ran the ball 2/3 of the time? They were so predictable on offense. This is why people should be getting super uber excited over this season for what the Buccaneers are about ready to do, whether they win or lose, because you're going to see a much more balanced attack. They're going to be a lot heavier on the run, but God bless America, man. When you got Godwin on one end, Gage in the middle, or Gage on the outside and Godwin in the middle, and you've got other wide receiver,
Mike Evans. Yeah.
Mike Evans.
Yes.
When you run that play action, oh my God, it's going to be absolutely devastating. And I want people to know I've already made a proposition bet that this team would be a top 6 team rushing in the National Football League. And that's coming from the 32nd team last year, respectively, in rushing.
I want to read this comment from Todd Bowles because he talked about this exact thing with Mike Evans. We got to make that a priority. Obviously, I think we made it a priority last year. Sometimes it was shut down. Sometimes we just misread it here and there, whether it was on the receiver line or the offensive lineman. We got to get better in that area, get Evans the football. We know he's a threat. We know he's a great player, so we got to consistently find ways to get it to not just Evans, but Chris Godwin as well.
Yeah.
The stats show in 2021, Evans was targeted 19 times in the red zone, caught 14 passes for 10 touchdowns. The year before, he caught 11 of 18 targeted passes for 9 touchdowns. Let's read the rest of these comments, and then we'll get out to the Mancini brothers, as you would say. You're listening to the Sports Web live here on I Love St. Pete, the hub, and Amped Up Sports. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry, the great professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports. I agree, Chris. North Sports Dynasty, I believe that's big board. Andrew Fulbert right there. Long time no see, my friend. We need to get you on here. Creamsicle jerseys coming in just in time to remind us of the good old days. Hopefully not. Creamsicle jerseys are the best. I love the jerseys. But again, not great memories where I'm coming from because I watched them in the 80s, in the 90s with all the blackouts. Hey, boss, says Roger Shue. Jeff Olson says, please trade for Eduardo Rodriguez out there. Good stuff there from the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
Pete, quit being a Malacca. I got you, Malacca.
This guy sucks.
And Roger Shue says he's also my boss. He is. I tell you what, let's go out to the guys here. Your favorite time of the day, Turnbuckle Talk with former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini Media. And then, of course, you got the bodyguard of the Berg, Pittsburgh's newest radio personality, Mr. Ralph Williams, as Harry is adjusting the shot here. Now, Mancini, you had something to say. You wanted to address the Greek here. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I just got, it's been a wonderful day. I just got back home covering the Dodgers and the crappy team out of D.C. called the Washington Nationals. 8 home runs. 8 home runs. You think you see something in baseball. 8 home runs combined. Unbelievable. Yeah, but I want to address that thing in Chicago when they let me tell you something, Greek. You know I love you. But the demise of the Chicago Bulls was when Jimmy Butler left.
Wow.
And Chicago and Minnesota and Philadelphia have all found the effects of keeping playoff Jimmy intact there. I'm telling you, I'm going to go with playoff Jimmy to knock off the Joker in Denver because I think experience is going to prevail here.
I'll tell you what, if he gets rested enough, that's a great comment. I'm actually contemplating on taking the Heat in this series, to be honest with you. And they are serious underdogs. I really respect. Let me tell you something. Jimmy Bucket's played a hell of a playoff run, but he's tired. He really is tired. And I don't know how much more he's got left in the tank. He can't keep this team on his shoulders. I mean, let's just face it. He's not Michael Jordan.
Well, no, he's not Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan, but it's funny how each one of those 3 franchises let him go. And if they just had him right about now, who knows? He probably would have delivered a championship.
The Bulls didn't want to get rid of him. They just didn't have enough pieces to get around him. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. And by the way, it doesn't mean he can't go back to Chicago.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's going to go back to Chicago. It looks like Lonzo Ball has played his last game. That's the report.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Harry, I know you got to get out of here. Go ahead and promote yourself here because I know you kind of want to slide in here and talk some Turnbuckle Talk. but we won't force you tonight. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Love coming on. I know I'm the co-host here on the Sports Web. I'm the co-host, Harry the Greek. 1252 Sports. You can catch me usually Monday and Wednesday nights right here. We're going to start giving out some more picks. Closer to football season comes, you're going to be getting them all. Love talking with the Mancini brothers right below us. I know I just love calling them that. Do not tune out. Trust me, this is when the show is going to start getting interesting. And I'm learning a little bit more about wrestling just by tuning in. Gentlemen, have yourself a really good night.
Appreciate it, Harry. Have a great one.
We love you all. Man, talk to you guys later. Shout out to everybody that's been DMing me wanting to get their picks again. I'm not going anywhere. And to give you guys an update, Arizona's up 5-0. The Yankees and Seattle are still knotted at 0 in the bottom of the fourth. There's 2 outs and there's a runner on second.
Yeah, and the
Still
Pirates,
here,
baby. Keller 7-1.
Triple A.
Keller is 7-1, man. We banged out 14. We're at the top. We're above the Cubs.
So who? Yeah, good deal, man. Thank you, Lord, for that. Go Pirates, go. Hold on. Go Pittsburgh, go. Hey, Pennsylvania, what do you say? The Pirates will win today.
This guy sucks.
All right, thanks a lot.
And that's for all. That's for all of my Chicago fans out there that are Cub fans.
Way to piss them off, Harry. Good job.
Hey, buddy, I've always told you guys I'm the chef of the shit soup. You guys have a great day. Dick the Bruiser, Dick Butkus, and everybody else. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, have a great one, Harry.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and start off with this because there was some breaking news tonight. But, somebody was asked this last week of if CM Punk was going to return to AEW. Listen to this. Punk is coming back to AEW for the inaugural Collision on June 17th. Yes, I do. I mean, if they announce that in Chicago and they don't have CM Punk a part of it, then what are we talking about? Like, who cares? You got a third show, and all the hoopla was, well, CM Punk is going to be a part of it, but all of a sudden we're not going to do it because we don't want to hire his compadre Ace Still. Hire the guy. I mean, you've already given the company to CM Punk. That's the reason why you have the third show in the first place. So you committed to it. You committed all to this. I mean, what are we talking about here? He's a guy that improves your ratings. I get it. He may be a pain in the ass, but that's a pain in the ass you could take. CM Punk is a hell of a wrestler at the end of the day. And he could sell, and he could be on the mic, and he's a guy that AEW needs to build around. All right, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Guys, I don't want to tell you I told you so, but that was the breaking news of the night from Tony Khan and AEW. CM Punk coming back to the United Center in Chicago on June 17th for Collision. This is what is best for business. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know how the locker room was going to react to it, but I'm excited about it. Mark, give me your thoughts, and then we'll go to Ralph.
Well, does everybody think we're all dumb around here and we can't kind of figure this thing out? I can use the analogy. It almost reminds me of the time when Roman Reigns was getting booed and he was a face. How come the WWE couldn't step in and turn him heel? It took them months and months and months and months. Finally, when they turned him heel, he ended up being the best heel in the business. The same thing when you look at the damn Judgment Day. Every time these clowns keep bringing these clowns out, why don't you just do everybody a favor and push them off a cliff?
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen with Judgment Day, but it certainly seems like they're over. Damian Priest doing some big things. Rhea Ripley, Dominic, he's annoying, but we've talked about that. But going back to it, Ralph, CM Punk, AEW announcement tonight from Tony Khan making his debut on June 17th for the premiere episode of AEW Collision. To me, it's best for business at the United Center in Chicago. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Tony Khan had to do this because, as you said, it's best for business. The thing that's bothering me, guys, is tonight is ROH people keep on coming on the show. They were supposed to separate that. That hasn't happened. But now CM Punk got his own show, and he's wrestling guys that he can get along with because he doesn't get along with a lot of guys in the locker room. And that's fine. It's good to have him back because – and having his own show. And on Saturday, they add a third show. Who better to bring back than CM Punk?
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think you know you were locked in at the end of the day. The ratings have shown that they're up. He can sell, and then once again, going back to that storyline, it's already there. The heat is already there. You don't have to create that heat between the Omega or the Elite, even though it looks like Kenny is about to have a big time face turn. And I think there's a lot of people who still want to see MJF versus CM Punk, and you can definitely make something out of that. Of course, coming off of that pay-per-view. I mean, what were your thoughts on the AEW pay-per-view, Mark?
Oh, it was, really good. I mean, when you look at how far they've come and what they're doing, I mean, they're trying to push themselves right there in the ranks. I mean, you can't help but notice, and I don't watch it as much as I watch, maybe NXT and WWE, but I like the way they're progressing. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the big story out of there was not only MJF still the champion of the world, but Jade Cargill beats Valkyrie. Yes.
Tyra Valkyrie. Yeah. She's a good wrestler.
Yeah, she is. And
great wrestler.
To Chris Statlander, 60 matches now, and she loses.
Because of Mark Sterling's big mouth.
Well, was this the right decision by AEW to give Jade a little bit of time off? Was her run classic? And, was this the right thing to do with Statlander?
Yeah, exactly. It was a good run. I mean, I'm surprised they're giving her time off. I guess maybe she's burned out. Every week she's on there and, fighting in a match. Sometimes it's a squash match. Sometimes it's a well-known opponent. And, so maybe she needs some time off, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And, I was impressed with Double or Nothing. I watched the very first one when I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, taking care of my late aunt's affairs. And I watched it, and it was great. And Double or Nothing is always great from Vegas. They do a really good job of presenting that. My match that I liked was Jericho and Adam Cole. I thought that was an interesting match, unsanctioned. The Elite versus the Black Gold, club there, and or society or whatever they're called. So
Jericho,
that match was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I like that match, and the matches were good. I didn't order the pay-per-view because I don't have an extra $40 for it, so I didn't bother with it. But I watched it on highlights on YouTube.
Well, I got a plan for that. I'll have to give you the link off here. We got some breaking news here. According to the NBA and ESPN, Monty Williams has agreed to a 6-year, $78.5 million contract with the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
He's gonna need about 6 years.
Let me just tell you that other than Chuck Daly, coaches go to Detroit to die to coach that team, man.
Well, there you go.
Stan Van Gundy and a whole list of guys have gone and tried to turn that team around. It's a far
Isaiah Thomas.
Bad boys.
Oh, Isaiah Thomas. There's been plenty of
Monty Williams. Let's make a deal in Detroit.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
And I don't think he deserved to be fired in the first place from Phoenix. But again, the pressure was there. He was a coach of the year. Couldn't get it done with Kevin Durant. I mean, and that's the thing. You're kind of wondering, who is going to be the next coach there in Phoenix? Is it going to be Doc Rivers? We shall see. Of course, that's the NBA. We talked that here on the Evolution. We're also talking about Turnbuckle Talk, WWE, and AEW. Besides that, didn't really anything else. You talked about Jericho and Adam Cole. That's the proper choice. You got to have a type of match like that. It does so well. We're putting over Cole. Cole is already over in a great match. That's how you make his run legitimate at the end of the day. Now, going back to it, WWE also had a Night of Champions. No surprise there, gentlemen. We talked about it. Seth Rollins was going to be the new heavyweight title of Raw. Good choice, Madman.
Oh, I love Seth freaking Rollins. I think he deserved it. He worked his way up, and not only that, I think what you're going to start to see now is you could start to see a heel turn with AJ Styles here. As much as I hate to see that, but
is he going to join Judgment Day? Do you think that's going to happen? Because he's already had the OC or the club with
It could get
Gallows and
interesting.
Anderson.
Yeah, they're gonna need to do something because I can't see Rhea Ripley hanging on too long with this thing. So that's the thing there. But man, oh man, I will tell you this. I think of you, Peter, and Ralph every time Karrion Kross comes down to wrestle with that music and Scarlett. My mind right away before he wrestles goes to you two guys.
Well, I feel like he's going to be cut. I mean, honestly, I feel like eventually they're going to cut him, and it's disappointing. And I feel like if he went to AEW, they would be able to market him. I don't know necessarily what they're doing with him, but to me, he could get over. And like you said, not only does he have the look, he has the wrestling ability, but he also has Scarlett. And I think Scarlett probably is taking, all the attention off of him and put it on her. And, who could blame wrestling fans, especially, men that watch it. I mean, she's definitely great to look at, but at the end of the day, he's a talented wrestler, and Triple H did so many great things with him in NXT, and for some reason
he gets the stick.
Right, they're not able to push him, so I don't necessarily understand.
Well, I think the problem with the WWE guys, and I don't want to take too much time from Ralph jumping in, but I think they don't let these guys develop enough. I'm starting to see that with LA Knight, Bronson Reed. These guys are getting 15 minutes, and
you know why? You know why? Because you know who's in charge again?
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
That's the reason. That is the reason right there. He has come back. I mean, he is like Antonio Brown to the Tampa Bay Buccaneer locker room. That's what Vince McMahon is. I love Vince McMahon. I love what he did, but it is past his time. It is past his time.
It is. You're right.
To move on, and until he moves on, he is the equivalent of Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. He is.
I actually thought, Peter, when he sold the business or merged with this UFC group, I actually thought that he was going to be out of the picture, and I knew he was up to something because he got tired of the public eye here from the stockholders, because WWE was public in the stock market. You and I could buy shares. I mean, that's where WWE once was. Now it's a private company, and they merged with UFC or whatever they did there. And I thought maybe, and he did it to hold himself because the stockholders and Fox, they didn't want him around. So I mean, now he can be around. So there you go.
And there's question marks here, and they were talking about this this week. If Monday Night Raw is going to stay on Monday, is Friday Night SmackDown going to be with Fox? I mean, there's a lot of things up in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot up in the air.
Going back to Seth Rollins, Rollins was the right choice. Now, the other big-time storyline for me was the Bloodline. Madman.
I told everybody they were falling. I did. But they fell after WrestleMania.
How satisfying, and I'll go to Ralph first, and then you can go ahead and comment, Mark. But, Ralph, how satisfying was that with the storytelling of the Bloodline and Jay and Jimmy and super kicking Roman Reigns? I mean, how surprised and shocked were you by that?
I wasn't surprised at all. I saw it coming. I predicted it. I said the Usos are going to get involved in this match, and the Bloodline's going to fall. I said this on our Wrestle Talk show, and Mark even knows about it. I said it on my former Talking Wrestling show. So I mean, I said the Bloodline's going to fall. I thought they were going to fall at WrestleMania, but that didn't happen. So they fell now, and I am hearing rumors now that Rikishi and Roman Reigns' father Sika are going to try to get involved to fix it. So I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just a rumor, but it was great to see the fall of the Bloodline right there. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, and I think it was Jimmy that did the super kicks, the two kicks, and I thought it was satisfying. I think it's the way it needs to go. I think it was great for Roman to have it 1,000 nights or 1,000 days as being having a title reign. By the way, guys, who are the only wrestlers that have done that in the history of WWE? What are the wrestlers' names? I'll give you one. It's
Bruno Sammartino.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? Two more.
Bob Backlund.
Okay, that's one.
That's two. More? Bob Backlund's two. Bob Backlund had it for a while.
Who else?
Hulk Hogan had it for a while.
There you go. And there's another one who I didn't even know who he was at the end of the day, probably before my time.
Pedro, just to chime in on the Bloodline thing, I think it's like football, guys. Teams, the good teams don't rebuild; they retool. I think what you're going to start to find out with the bloodline here is even if, there's cracks in the armor here and the bloodline, with the Usos go their own ways, somebody's going to resurface here. It would be significantly much more enjoyable to see that thing resurrect itself than sit around here and watch the Judgment Day and AJ Styles try to help that thing, because I think Reigns is one of those wrestlers that can carry a whole company on his back. And that's where I think they won't miss the Usos. Yeah, he got a kick to his face, but I think you're going to see this, the Reigns. Look, he's walking around with a shirt that says "Life's not fair," and still.
Yeah, I tell you right now, it's so interesting how this storyline is going to play out. We're on Turnbuckle Talk, your AEW, WWE talk here on the Sports Web. If you want to comment on any of these issues or any of these storylines that we're talking about, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 in case you can't get
guys.
On that
I was frustrated because Austin Theory wasn't involved in Night of Champions. He's a champion. Why wasn't he involved?
Well, again,
I don't get that.
I don't understand that. Again, the other number, 727-409-7528, and that's
that Gunther match.
Right. The whole booking to me doesn't make any sense. Now, according to Kurt Angle on the Kurt Angle Show, which is the multi-time WWE champion, he made a bold prediction regarding Roman Reigns' future. We've talked about this also, gentlemen. Roman Reigns is not going to be in the company in the next 5 years. The kid is going to be a huge movie star. It's going to happen. It is. There's no doubt. He's got an incredible look. He's talented. He's smart. The kid's going to be a movie star. According to Angle, Roman Reigns will eventually go down the path paved by people like Dave Bautista, The Rock, and John Cena.
He's going to be in Fast and the Furious 11.
Well, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I mean, who else is in Fast and the Furious 11? I can't. Nobody has seen Fast and the Furious 10 yet. We all know who is coming.
And you know what's remarkable about that? When you looked at when he first came in as a Shield, everybody looked at Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, and Reigns was the quiet guy there. And look at how he's taken the heel run, and it's just remarkable. And he's battled leukemia and everything. I think it's tremendous what he's done, and God bless him.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You're absolutely correct. And I think when it's time for him to go to Hollywood, that they're going to have hopefully somebody like probably a Cody Rhodes who lost to Brock Lesnar with.
Yeah, I got hurt again.
Right, with the broken. I think that's more of a storyline. And I think that's what it is. It's a Super Cena kind of deal where they're trying.
I like this titanium cast, though, the one he was using on Brock.
Well, it kind of reminds you of what? Lex Luger back in the day when Luger had he had something in his arm or
his elbow.
Elbow. He give you the elbow, and they would sell it like he had like metal in there or something, and it was a devastating move. Because Lex Luger was like a 4 moves of doom guy at the end of the day. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Don't know who this is. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on Turnbuckle Talk with yours truly, along with the madman himself, Mark Mancini, and of course Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Bird. Go.
Hey man, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
So my name is Juan, and I'm from Tijuana right now. I'm looking at your stream right now.
Okay, thanks, Juan. Appreciate it. So, what do you got to say here about wrestling action, or do you want to talk about something else?
Yeah, I just want to say nigger, 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 nigger.
Okay. All right. I don't know why that happens, but that's I guess that's
Peter. That's part of the business, man. You get them all the time.
I don't know why.
Calling from Tijuana.
Well, I don't know where he's here's where he's calling from. That was
he probably had 2 minutes to call.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He probably had too many burritos and forgot about it.
I was saying it's Taco Tuesday, but then we're on Wednesday, so it's not Taco Tuesday. But a telephone call.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to even acknowledge that guy at all. He's an idiot. Let's go ahead and go out to John Cena here, saying I was a hypocrite. This is from USA Insider. Of course, he had some critical comments of The Rock to MTV News. And then, of course, Cena goes off goes off to Hollywood himself after he criticized The Rock going off to Hollywood from wrestling. That's what most of the wrestlers do. He said, I had his number. We could have talked about it. He also goes on to say The Rock's a blessing instead of going, hey, man, I like to try to do this thing to hook you back in and maybe we can collaborate and really make it big. I was like, F this. Was calling the dude out. He gave me an opening. I'm going to kick the door open. I was diligent, and I understand why he got upset, because he's changing the perception of the industry. He says years later, what a hypocrite I am, of course, coming off of Fast and the Furious 9 and Fast and the Furious 10. He says him and Dave Bautista, they made it okay to be in WWE. WWE isn't that carnival performer stereotype pro wrestlers have had. They carry that stereotype for so long, and these guys are breaking down barriers and shattering ceilings. And on top of that, just transcending the art form. I think that, again, it's interesting, because at the end of the day, I liked the storyline because you thought it was real. He really did criticize The Rock at the time. So it should have been just one match. It shouldn't have been two.
Right.
And by the way, The Rock was supposed to win both of them, but at the end of the day, they changed the plans and made it Rock versus Cena was supposed to be once in a lifetime, which I went to that WrestleMania in 2012 in Miami, and it should have been just once in a lifetime. Okay. I don't know if I should answer this. Let's see who this is. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey.
Okay, I don't know who's calling the show, but you guys are getting your laughs tonight. I appreciate the calls and the attention. It means a lot to me, but just sit back and shut the hell up.
Sounded like a working girl. It sounded like a working girl.
I don't know who it was. It said Wendy's Incorporated. So whoever's calling Wendy's, no, I did not order.
Let me get.
What do you think you are, Wendy's?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's who called. Wendy's.
You know what? When you look at John Cena and all this, I don't understand this. And we've talked about this, guys, before, and I've always had this. I don't care what business you get into or what business you do. If there's 100 people, 95 just got hidden agendas. They look out for themselves. Those other 5 you need to hang with, because those guys will run through a wall for you. They'll look out for you. They're the kind of the glue of the company. And when you look at Cena making a comment like that, why can't you be happy for somebody that got into Hollywood? It's going to open up a door for you because he's a wrestler. We stand here and we knock these guys and, well, he's doing this and doing that. And now, I can't see that with a guy like Reigns doing it. And I'm very surprised Cena would do that. But, The Rock is so well known. He wouldn't scoop to that level. So,
well,
I don't know,
At the time when it was going on, I guess you could kind of understand where Cena was coming from. And I think there's a lot of wrestlers out there that felt like this. Even CM Punk, when he was wrestling for WWE, he kind of said, calling him Dwayne, and he's a part-timer. And there's wrestlers out there like Cena at the time who was wrestling full-time that kind of took offense to a guy who was part-time, even though he's completely over and he's a legend and he's a Hall of Famer like The Rock coming in and, having a match like that. They kind of felt disrespected. Now, Cena being a part-timer himself is saying, you know what? I was an idiot back then. I shouldn't have been making. So you're exactly right about that. But I think there's a lot of wrestlers who still feel like that, Ralph, where they don't necessarily like to see a Brock Lesnar or The Rock. As many fans like to see that. Part-timers, at the end of the day, a guy that's been there over and over again should go over on a part-timer. And they did the right thing, and I was surprised by this, with putting Austin Theory over a John Cena, because a lot of people assume WrestleMania, John Cena, he's going to win that. That's not the right thing to do. The vehicle is have a part-timer to put over a guy who you're trying to get over at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, Brock Lesnar's been a part-timer, and I thought Cody Rhodes should have won that match because, like you said, a part-timer, and, he wins all the time, too. Or most of the time he wins, Brock Lesnar. He don't lose too much. He lost to Roman Reigns a couple of times, and he's a part-timer. And then you have a few other guys who are part-timers around here and, in the WWE. So, it can be tough because the guys that are full-time that put in a lot of work, like you said, don't like to see these guys around. And I wouldn't mind having them around for the big events and then get squashed by somebody or get beat. And, I don't have a problem with that. Roman Reigns actually is a part-time wrestler. And when he became heel, I heard some rumors he's part-time wrestler because of his health a little bit, and he doesn't have the full-time grind that he used to.
Yeah, Well, and not only that, guys, if I can chime in, the more and more I look at Brock Lesnar, if he lost 100 pounds, he would remind me of a guy sitting in a canoe somewhere outside of New Orleans chewing tobacco, and I'd be calling him Skinner.
Very good. Very good there. All right.
Yeah, look at Logan Paul. I mean, he's part-time. I mean,
Logan Paul, eventually, he's not only a part-time, but he's a celebrity, but I think eventually full-time. Yeah. And please, whoever's calling, stop calling, because you're not going to offer anything. You're not going to offer anything to the show. I'm not taking your calls at this point. So we'll go one more time with this. Yeah, welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Nigger.
Well, goodbye. See ya. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Boy, some people must lead dull lives.
Well, you do. Got some real freaking idiots out there. So thanks a lot for calling from Texas. I'll be calling you back after the show. You can guarantee. I'll be calling you all night long. You can guarantee that. Yeah. I'm petty like that. Trust me. Get ready. I'll be calling you. I got nothing better else to do. You ruined my show. I'll ruin your night. Let's go out to Dark Side. That's good stuff. All right, let's go out to the comments here. I watched the show Rich and Shameless. Hulk Hogan versus the Gawker on TNT 2 weeks ago on Wednesday night, and it was pretty cool. So there you go, going way back there. I didn't know that was on. So good stuff, Christopher Cole. Appreciate it. Yeah. Dark Side of the Ring. Did you guys watch this last night with Tammy Sitch, of course?
Oh no, I wish I did.
And Chris Candido.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Now, tell me, Mark. Now, tell me, did you have any experience with both of those parties? Of course, Chris Candido passing away, I think, 32 years old from like a blood clot, and they determined at the time he should have not flown because he had an injury at TNA, got on a plane, shouldn't have traveled home, and then basically got a blood clot. And Jim Cornette said it best last night. He died from a broken ankle. Because of that, it was a sad story. He was into somas. He was into drugs. A lot has been talked about, but he was starting to get his life clean. Have you ever had any experience with Chris Candido or Tammy Sitch?
Well, when I started the XPW, it was 1999, and I was there till about 2003, I think it was. Mm-hmm. But I got to meet both of them, and they were both really cordial and nice. And, it was sad with the whole thing. And there's a special place in my heart. I really love Tammy Sitch. I mean, she was something when she came into the WWE then. And Chris Candido, just a really nice, soft-spoken guy. It's just sad what the drugs did to them. But, man, oh, man. Yeah, I experienced it. I had a nice experience with both of those guys.
You did? Really? Go ahead. Can you go ahead and expound on that a little bit? Talk about Chris.
Well, I mean, it was, to see him at shows and everything and just to talk to him and do the shows with these guys. Was just unbelievable. They didn't have an ego. Some wrestlers I came across had egos and, they kind of thought you were stealing their limelight in some instances, but I never got that feeling with Candido. Maybe it was an Italian bonding or something. So who knows that, but, I never, they were just great. And when he passed it, I had a tear coming down my eyes, on that, but just great people. That were a good part of the business. Another one was Nicole Bass. She was part of the company. I got to know her too. Nicole Bass was another great lady, and we lost her at an early age too.
Yeah, and you are part of XPW, former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini. Jim Cornette says he feels like if Chris could have been around during this time period, because WWE has embraced smaller wrestlers and faster and old school, that Candido would have gotten over. He would have been a superstar. Do you feel like that, Mark?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think so. He had all the ring savvy and everything. I would have been looking at him maybe like an Austin Theory type right about now.
Wow.
I really do. He had a little charisma, and he can get a mean streak if he wanted to. I never saw it, but I can see him playing, a heel type and stuff like that. But just with Tammy by his side, that would have been a double duo to contend with in the WWE.
Ralph, what do you say about Chris Candido and Tammy Lynn Sitch?
Tammy Lynn Sitch, man, that's a shame about her. And now she's really in deep trouble, and she's in jail, in prison, or whatever. And she violated her probation more than once, and it's terrible. What happened to her as well? She let alcohol get to her, and so Chris Candido with the drugs and everything. I think he would have been a superstar wrestler as well if he would have had the opportunity and hadn't been involved in drugs all that time. And I think that's part of the reason he died as well, probably. A lot of these wrestlers die at an early age because of drugs and alcohol and things like that. And it's just terrible about that.
Well, it is, and he was starting to get clean. Even Jim Cornette just does a great job, and he is an ambassador of wrestling and history in itself. You got to love that guy because he's been around every promotion at the time, and of course, he started out with Smoky Mountain Wrestling in Tennessee. It was a funny story. The mother at the time said that Chris was basically she told him to go to school. He got approved. With Tennessee, I got approved to go to University of Tennessee. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my phone here. This guy is going to just continue.
I got a good story about Jim Cornette that I liked when he was in charge of Impact Wrestling and he fired Bruce Pritchard fired him right there on the show. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Well, yeah, definitely. But he talked to. He was involved with Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Right.
This was actually supposed to be going to the University of Tennessee, and then of course he decided to wrestle full time, and the rest, of course, is history. At the end of the day, he actually died at the age of 33.
Yeah.
The other thing that was talked about, and Dr. Tom Pritchard was on because he was Zip. I had no idea that they started out as a tag team, Skip and Zip, with Tammy.
Skip and Zip. Yeah.
WF, and of course, Tammy became Sonny. Sonny got over more than Chris, and then we all know what happened then. Shawn Michaels was hitting on Sonny, and they were having some type of affair. I mean, you heard about this in the wrestling business, Mark. I mean, how relevant was it? How hurt do you think Chris was? He had to have known that they were doing something behind the scenes. Of course, that would be Tammy and, of course, Shawn Michaels at the time.
Well, I don't know if it was as big as, the whole Triple H thing that the rumors we heard with China and all that, but I think it was up there. And, from his standpoint, it had to hurt because, when somebody does something like that, the first thing you look at is yourself and go, what could I have done better? Or what am I not doing right? Am I not home enough? Am I not this? And you look at yourself first, but it's sad, and that business is so cutthroat, man. I'll tell you, there's a lot of backstabbing and stuff like that in that business, and it's kind of hard. Just gotta have an even keel, and it's kind of like navigating through the dark sometimes. You better make sure you have a lot of ever-readies in that flashlight, because if you go through the lake dark, you might hit a rock or something. But yeah, it was sad, and I remember hearing some of those rumors too, but it was just sad because I thought they were meant for each other. It was kind of reminding me like a Ken and Barbie type.
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right about that. And it started out like that because Ralph, at the time, they were high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
The story is that Chris went with somebody to prom and then ended up going home with Tammy in her convertible, which is funny in itself. The mom described the first wrestling match she saw with Tammy there looking like an angel. And of course it didn't necessarily work out that way, but I mean, just talk about that a little bit. Go ahead, Ralph.
Switching gear. Oh, I'm sorry. Switching gears a little on that. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the Hidden Treasures on WWE this past weekend. I thought the guest here, Bret Hart, did after Natalia was going to give the jacket of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Bret Hart said, "You know what? I'll loan mine to the WWE Treasures too, so fans can really, grasp that." And boy, those the Hart Foundations was something else, my friends.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you on that. And at the end of the day, Ralph, what are your thoughts on Tammy and Chris once again with the Shawn Michaels thing? I mean, do you think he knew about it? Because and even Jim and other people said, and I think they had, I'm trying to think, Terry Reynolds on.
Terry Reynolds.
Right.
Was the former wife of Dusty Rhodes at the time.
I'll tell you a theory I have on that, on Terry Reynolds. Remember the part when Goldust had to wrestle Brian Pillman?
Pillman.
and then he lost that match, and he had to give her away to Brian Pillman for a month. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are some theories going around that Brian Pillman's death may have been caused by Goldust because he was so frustrated about what he did to Terry. I think perhaps there's some suspicion out there that Goldust may have, Dustin Rhodes, he might have did something to him to cause that death. There's a theory out there about that.
Well, I think it was drug related at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And,
but who knows? He might have gave him the drugs.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And not only that, it kind of reminded me of that triangle with Lex Luger, Elizabeth, and the Macho Man. Remember that one?
Well,
yes. Yeah. And then it ended up Elizabeth dying because Lex Luger gave her drugs and she overdosed.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got in trouble for that. He ended up in jail.
Drugs were definitely relevant during that time, and Tammy definitely got wrapped up into that whole deal. And then the other thing that I thought was disturbing is when they went down to ECW, and Mark, you would know something about this.
Yeah.
While Chris was in the ring, Tammy was around other male wrestlers.
Yeah.
And she was coming out of her mind. She was shaking, and the crowd was calling her a crack. You know what? I mean, it was just a complete disaster. And then on top of it, they lost so much money with ECW. And I forgot about this, but at the time, Paul Heyman had Tammy cut a real life promo where she was drinking and doing drugs, and it was just completely tasteless at the end of the day. So I was surprised by that, but then again, not really surprised. Of course, Tammy now facing manslaughter charges. She's in the WWE Hall of Fame, but more than likely going to prison. What a sad story. And at the end of the day, kind of the special kind of summed up. Chris maybe didn't necessarily get over with the whole crowd. He wasn't over as a superstar as much as Tammy was, but he made more of an impact in the wrestling business than Tammy ever could because she was in so much trouble and had so many inner demons at the end of the day.
Well, not only that, back then with NXT and ECW, I think if they were still around today with the development of those guys, the Sandman, the Sheik, Abdullah the Butcher, I mean, the list goes on, the Dudley Boys, I think, people would be looking at this federation much more different than NXT or AEW. Wouldn't you say, boys?
Yeah, Shane Douglas. He was in ECW.
Shane Douglas, the Pittsburgh Plunge.
Yep. Yes.
Shane Douglas, you had Francine who talked about it, and I'm going to get her thoughts on it because she had a review of what happened in that whole situation. But Dark Side of the Ring is just an amazing series. You got it on Vice TV. Definitely check it out. They got I'm trying to think of who they got coming up next week, but it's going to be a wild season. I think there's 10 episodes, and there was talk of them canceling and all this other stuff. It's not.
You got to watch that. You got to watch that documentary 350.
350. What's that about?
Yeah, it's about wrestling. It's 350 days of wrestling on the road, and it shows where wrestlers and their families struggled because of someone, a wrestler in the family, whether it's a husband or wife, being on the road for 350 days. That's how many days you're on the road. Wrestling.
Wow. All right.
Not only that, how about the Hidden Treasures? You guys ever watch that? That is.
I watched that.
I don't watch that really.
I watch the Rivals, and I watch everything that A&E puts out because they do a great job with WWE.
Biography.
Great job,
yeah.
Ralph.
Magnum TA is who they're going to have on next week. That story in itself.
I'd love to see that one. Magnum TA.
Yep, interested in seeing that at the end of the day. Let's go ahead and wrap it up right there. Alexa Bliss is now pregnant.
Yes.
Wow.
So congratulations to her. Remains.
Yeah, she just got over skin cancer too. So.
She did, and there was talk that she was going to get back with Bray Wyatt, and they're going to have some type of storyline. Who knows? It certainly seems like it's in limbo, but congratulations to Alexa Bliss. Ralph, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. Sports Corner, the way I see it, on YouTube. Also, June 20th, 5 to 6 p.m., debuting my Sports Corner radio show on Beaver County Radio, 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM 1230 AM and 1460 AM. It's Beaver County Radio under the St. Barnabas radio network. Next Tuesday, I go to sign the contract with the station, and on the 17th, I go for the new building. They're going to have the ribbon cutting for their new building. I'll be there on the 17th. So catch me on Beaver County Radio. It'll be every Tuesday starting June 20th, 5 to 6 p.m. Myself, Smoke, and Jim Frazier, we're going to knock it out in Pittsburgh. It's about time we get some new voices on the radio and get rid of some of the old ones and get them out of there on drive time. It's my turn to make a difference, and I'm going to do that as well. You can still catch the Way I See It show and Ralph Williams one-on-one on YouTube, on my YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to check the archive versions out. Tomorrow night TV, PCTV, Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon Cable, Sports Corner, the last live show there. I'm going to be doing tape shows due to a dispute with the station. So we're going to be doing that. So that's tomorrow night's our last live show.
All right, man. Well, great job. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you. Oh, and I'm also with Amped Up Sports now, Peter.
Well, there you go. Good stuff.
I'm with Amped Up Sports. Yes, I am.
We're going to be holding his bags, baby.
I'm telling you, Williams, bodyguard of the Berg, newest radio personality in Pittsburgh. Thanks a lot for your time, my friend. All right.
There he goes.
Anytime, man. Have a great one.
Yep. Good stuff there. Let me go out to the madman himself, former XPW announcer, Mark Mancini. Go ahead and promote yourself, my friend.
Tomorrow, Philadelphia's WWDB AM 860 will have Zach Manassian on. He's a former clubhouse of the Texas Rangers and LA Dodgers. One of his sons is the GM of the Angels. The other one's with the San Francisco Giants scouting. That's going to be an interesting one. Fridays, XM 203, Series 217. Then I do my Pittsburgh Pirate podcast. Tarek Brock, San Francisco Giants, Alex Berg. I can't wait for next Wednesday here. We got the Wrestle Talk. We got everything, man. We are cleaning house here. Now it's time for you to go after Tito in Tijuana.
There you go. I don't know who that guy is, but thanks a lot for making my night, my friend, because it's going to be a fun night for you. I can guarantee it. Thanks a lot, Mark. Madman himself, former XPW announcer here on The Evolution. All right.
Love you. Say hi to your mom. I love Harry the Greek. Everybody, brother.
Will do, my friend. Good stuff there. The madman, Mark Mancini. Thanks a lot to all the guests for the night. Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Of course, the madman, Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. And Ralph Williams, newest radio personality in Pittsburgh. We'll be back on Monday night. Always keep it here. Like and follow the Sports Web on YouTube, like I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports, and do 3 things for me on this happy hump day edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time, and fans of the Sports Web and Tampa Bay sports fans in general, it's your time. Have a great night.